Had three ventures into Pinkerton territory all afternoon. The deepest penetration, as I recall, down to the 26-yard line right at the end of the first half. And other than that, they got down to around the 40-yard line once, and I think to the 46 once, and that's as close as they came to scoring in that game. But you're right, Harvey. It's surprising to look at the stat sheet from a week ago and see how even the teams really were most of the way. 24-24 in plays at halftime, if I recall, and it just was one of those things where Concord didn't finish off when they had the opportunities.
Tonight, they want to finish off with those opportunities, and Coach Jack Ganny is looking for some kind of increased attitude and pressure from him last week. He thought that he has a good line, a good talented line that was outplayed by the Pinkerton line, and that was his first order of business all week long. They host Exeter tonight. This is the fifth meeting ever between Concord and Exeter in the sport of football. Concord leads the series 4-0, but they have been all Super Bowl games. The first one was in 74, 36-34. You'll hear more about that game in our interview with Coach Dick Eustace in just a moment. In 75, Concord won it by scoring 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes to win 21-27. And then they did not play for a number of years, 14 years, and then Exeter was kicked up from Division II to a brand new Class L division. So they resumed their rivalry 2 years ago in 89. And remember, Concord won the title in 89. But here at Memorial Field against Exeter, they just hung on for an 18-13 victory. Exeter's best player, Derek DeRoche, pass in the end zone with 2 minutes to go. Given Exeter a win over the eventual state.
That was, I remember that game well, Harvey. That was one of those long and really lousy football games, frankly. Neither team played that well. And as you say, the drop pass really was significant, I think, or it was a good example of how bad both teams played. That was a terrible football game.
I'll tell you. And then last year, Bruce, Concord on its struggle to a 4-4 season.
Yep. Fell
behind Exeter 14-0 before finally pulling it out with a touchdown late in the game to win it 20-14. And I talked to Coach Dick Eustace, who he'll be kind of cool and standoffish, but he always has his teams ready.
Coach, welcome back to Concord. This team with this series between Concord and Exeter has always been a good one, and games have always been close. I remember the last time you were here 2 years ago, you almost pulled it out in the fourth quarter. What do you have planned for us this time?
The games are always close, but we always lose. We've had some great games. One down in Exeter, I remember 36-34, and as you said, last time we were up here, we had a chance right at the end, and we just didn't catch the ball we needed to, but sometimes we play very good against Concord, and we hope tonight's one of them.
Just to give the fans listening to this interview a frame of reference, 74 was the first game that you're talking about, and that was the Concord High Championship year with Coach Don Surratt, Ridley Surratt, the quarterback, and those kids. And they just got by you guys 36-34, and they went on to the title. 2 years ago, you're back here, some 16 years later, Concord went on to the state championship, but a kid, number 8, I won't mention his name, he drops a pass in the end zone right in his number. He catches that, and you would have beaten him that day 2 years ago.
Well, we had the lead late in the game, and number 8, he was our best player, both offensively and defensively, and it wasn't a mistake. He caught the ball was in the sun a little bit, and he couldn't quite see it. And again, we had an opportunity, but we just didn't get it done.
The quarterback, Mike Olson, probably your best athlete this year, he's out of this game. He was hurt last week in Manchester. What's his status?
His status is not real good right now. He's seeing a doctor this afternoon. He's not playing the dressing tonight. The status on the rest of the season is still in doubt. We hope that he can come back, but realistically, we probably think that he won't.
Jack Gaddy says, in his opinion, that he's probably the best quarterback in the state. That's going to be a tough loss.
Well, he's a good one, and as much as he is a quarterback on offense, he's probably a leader on defense, too, and he's a captain of the team and a leader there also. So we expect some other people to have to step up and fill his shoes, and the shoes are going to be big ones to fill.
Last week, while you were playing in Manchester, Concord High was playing at Pinkerton, and when you heard the score, 38-0, Pinkerton beats Concord, did you say to yourself, oh, wow?
Not really. We had a couple of people there scouting the game, and they came back, and as they gave us the score 38-0, they said it was not a 38-0 ball game, that Concord is a very good ball club, and I'm sure they are.
Did you say to yourself, Coach, oh, why do we have to be next?
I certainly did, and I'm saying it right now. I'm sure they were angry all week, and they want to get a piece of somebody, and we that are up here tonight. I just hope that we're ready to play them.
18-team Class L division now. You've been up for a couple of years. Are you pleased with the setup?
Not at all. We don't think the whole system beneficial to the smaller schools as we are. 18 teams seems to be too big to have one champion. Myself, I think it should be split 9 and 9 or some kind of thing like that to give some other teams the opportunity to have some success.
I don't. I agree with you very much. I think that you had a winning season every season in the 80s, a couple of championships back there in the other divisions, and I really think that there are a lot of schools on the bubble, Winnicott, yourselves, Girton, that probably would be better off in another conference.
I agree with that. And our chances of coming up, enrollment figures, I think, are dictated next Tuesday, and where we stand then will determine where we'll be playing in the next two.
Final question, the T formation, does it disrupt your regular practice to have to get ready for this particular offense, which many other teams use? What kind of practices do you have getting ready for it?
Well, we have some fun practices getting ready for it. The kids that play against us, our scout team, enjoy it because it's something brand new. Every team that we play has an offense that we have to get ready for, so this one isn't brand new. We've seen it before, and we've ideas on how to try to defend it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it...
Well, you're acting cool, Coach, but we know a Dick Eustace coach team is going to give Concord a lot of fight here tonight. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, just to follow up that, Exeter won titles in 55, 57, and 58 in a father-son combination. Dick was a star player, a halfback on the team. His father was the coach. They continued in 59 after he left the school. They won titles again in 63, 64, and 65. They were runners-up in 76 and 83, and then they were kicked up to Class L. And the numbers started to go down. And he makes a good point. Frankly, they just don't have the numbers to compete against the Nashuas and the Concords and the Manchester schools, Trinketon, on a regular basis. Jack Addy's going to get his shot and his turn in an interview when we return here to our pregame. Stay with us, Concord and Exeter.
You know, high school sports are a source of interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the communities they represent. High school sports help bring a community together, providing a common focus to care about and to cheer for. Now, because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high school sports are about a lot more than winning and losing. They're about working together and growing together. And that's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, on behalf of its clients and friends, is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to our community. And even more pleased to be part of a community that cares so much for its young people.
Okay, back here at Memorial Field, Bruce LeBoyle, Lee Smith for the big broadcast tonight, the big game between the Exeter Blue Hawks and the Concord High School Crimson Tide. Both teams coming off losses a week ago. Of course, Concord at the hands of Pinkerton 38-0, and these Exeter Blue Hawks were defeated by Manchester Memorial a week ago, 21-7, if I recall, without seeing my list right here in front of me right off the bat. This is one of 6 games around the state tonight. Of course, Exeter at Concord, as we mentioned, Londonderry at Bishop Girton, Central at Memorial. Portsmouth plays at Spalding in what should be an interesting game. And down in Class I, Kennett is at Laconia tonight, and Lebanon plays at Stevens. It's the busiest night of high school football on a Friday night this year. We have Coach Jack Gaddy on tape now with some thoughts about last week's game and what's upcoming here at Memorial Field on this Friday night.
Well, there's no question that 38-0 whitewashing had some kind of an impact on your program, but your kids really seemed upbeat all week, Coach.
Very much so, and we had a good week of practice, and I think it just goes in line with the type of attitude that we showed from day one. Kids are positive, they're willing to work hard, and a setback like a 38-0 score, isn't going to get them down. They're ready to play and ready for this game.
If you and I said to somebody who was out of state that weekend that you had 11 first downs to the other team's 10, you guys had 48 plays, they had 42 plays, they controlled the ball for only 38 seconds more than you did, you wouldn't think there would be a 38-0 score. You were in part of that game, Coach.
Very much so. I mean, there were times where I thought we played some great defense against a very talented football team. But that's the nature of a team that has a lot of talent. They're going to get the big plays, that might just take one play. For example, when we threw an interception last week, the interception was as good as a punt because we had them down on the 35-yard line. The next play, well, fast breaks it for 65 yards. So, that's the nature of their talent. And but all in all, they beat us on defense. It was our offense that lost the game, not our defense.
You did mention to me a week ago, Coach, and then you followed up Monday in the paper that you're a little concerned with your open swing. What are you doing in practice to help that situation?
Nothing but just practicing the basics. There's not much you can do. Our kids are working hard at it. We're coaching them hard, but I think there comes a time where we just got to start executing, and that's in their minds tonight. And we're hoping to see better things from our overall team tackling.
There's no question that those Pinkerton backs are talented, and when they break through the line and it gets to be a one-on-one situation, it's very difficult to bring them down.
It is. Defensive backs are the hardest position to play at any level. It'd be college, pro, or Pop Warner. It's a difficult position. You need good athletes. But like I said, our kids are working at it, and that's all you could ask.
One of your best defensive backs, who is leading the team in tackles and pass interceptions, Jamie Welch, out tonight and maybe out for the season with that knee situation. What adjustments are you going to make to fill in for his spot?
Well, that's our outside linebacker position. Gary Gott's going in for Jamie, and he'll do a nice job. But Jamie came off a great, outstanding game individually, against Pinkerton. He did a nice job containing the corners, and played extremely tough. So we're going to surely miss him.
Exeter High, maybe they're down a little bit in the standings, and you can't look at that stat because they always have seemed to have played you tough.
Always, and they play everybody else tough. It's a credit to their coaching staff to get this team up week in and week out, because last who they play, and oftentimes they're the underdog. They play extremely tough.
A year ago, you fell behind 14-0 and had to really scrap to win it.
Certainly did on a very hot, humid day. So, kids came to the occasion, and we got to beat this team tonight to be 3-1.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The sure sign that the fall weather and the winter is just around the corner isn't the leaves turning. It's Jack Gaddy standing here, not in a short-sleeved shirt for a change. He's finally got the sweatshirt on, so it must mean winter's coming.
It might come off. Who knows?
This is your type of night, though.
It is. We're looking forward to it.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Harvey.
And that is Coach Jack Gaddy as he heads into his 135th game here as a varsity coach in the state of New Hampshire. Concord High looking to get back on the winning track here at Memorial Field tonight. They host the Exeter Bluehawks. It should be a fine football game. Exeter has a wide-open offense. They throw reverses, and who knows, maybe the old Statue of Liberty play coming tonight. So stay with us on the radio. It should be a fun night, and then we'll get it going to the Red Sox game at the conclusion of the football game. We'll be back for our opening kickoff right after this.
At the Allied Insurance Agency, their motto, "Your protection is our profession," is practiced daily. Their professional staff is truly at your service when it comes to protecting you, your family, and your business with total insurance coverage at very attractive rates. The Allied Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated. They know the greater Concord area. They live here, and their staff utilizes the services of excellent New Hampshire insurance companies. Companies such as the Concord Group, Peerless, and the New Hampshire Insurance Company. At the Allied Insurance Agency, they believe in supporting the area's youth, and they've established a long-standing tradition of high school sports sponsorship. And once again this fall, the winning tradition of Allied Insurance and local high school football continues as Allied Insurance and WKXL bring you these live broadcasts of the Concord High Crimson Tide and the Bishop Brady Green Giant football games. From Dave Gazaway Sr. and Dave Gazaway Jr. and the entire staff of Allied Insurance Agency, good luck and good sportsmanship.
Memorial Field here in Concord, your spot for sports tonight, 1450 AM radio. I'm Harvey Smith along with Bruce Lavoie, and we are ready to bring you the first of our football doubleheader this week. Concord Exeter here on the radio tonight, and the Green Giants and Placi Monadnock tomorrow afternoon. And the Green Giants have got to put together a modest win streak if they hope to make the playoffs in their division, and a nice time to start would be tomorrow afternoon. So plan to be with us at about 1:10. We'll talk to the coaches, and we'll kick the Green Giants off tomorrow at 1:30. Tonight it's Concord and Exeter, and you heard Coach Eustace and myself talk about that 1974 game. Greg Surratt, 31-yard pass to Jim Parker in the final minute of play, pulled it out for the Crimson Tide, 36-34. Exeter High had a senior halfback who was arguably the best athlete in the state that year, Skip Swazinski. Scored on a 77-yard touchdown run that game against Concord. He scored on a 55-yard end sweep, and then he scored on another 7-yard plunge. He rushed for 216 yards, Skip Swazinski, against Concord that day. Quarterback Mike Sullivan, 8-yard pass to Dana Barbin 2 times in the game. And the key play, Exeter, last play of the first half, Concord High was called for roughing the passer, and Exeter would come up with a miracle pass halftime, taking the lead. But game 36-34. Concord went on to win the Division I title, their first in 50 years that year. Exeter had to settle for a basketball title with the same kids, and I'm sure Gardner Hill, who's anchoring us back at the station, remembers that well, because Gardner and I did the broadcast of Exeter's win in the title game over Pembroke Bruce, and they had a great group of athletes, Brzezinski and Bobbin, and Chip Tolan, and I'm sure I'm recalling some fond memories for Gardner Hill. That was a great team.
Oh, yeah, they sure were. And for any team to knock Pembroke out when Ed Clow and the gang gets to a championship game is really an accomplishment. It's just more testimony to what a great group of athletes that was back then.
And then the rivalry resumed a couple of years ago, and Concord 2 years ago went on to the state title, and one of the thorns in their side along the way was Exeter High again, 18 in the final minute of play.
In an ugly football game.
Yep, addressing that. Last year, Concord fell behind by 14 and rallied to win it with a touchdown in the final minute of play. So who knows what the Exeter Bluehawks will unveil here tonight against the Crimson Tide under the lights at Memorial Field. A great night for football. You can tell it's a great night here in the Concord area when the wind isn't blowing, and it's a windless night. There's a little bite in the air, but it's a great chill. And the Concord's in its home maroon uniforms, Exeter in its visiting white and blue uniforms. The Crimson Tide will start John Forrestall at center. He's a 6-foot, 198-pound senior. Dave Lossage at right guard, 6'1", 198-pound senior. Tommy Marshall, 5'10", 195-pound senior at the other guard. Og Young, 6'4", 240-pound senior tackle. Nice article on Og in the paper tonight. Catch that one, if you will. That's one of the better articles he's ever done since he's been with the Monitor. Eric Woods, 6', 216-pound senior at the other tackle. Gary Gott at the end, 6'1", 171-pound senior, and Blake Savoy, a 6', 190-pound sophomore. Rob Sawyer, an end who will see quite a bit of duty. He's 6'6", 230 pounds. He represents the senior class. And the Crimson Tide backfield tonight, they will start Mike Mayo, a 5'6", 160-pound senior. He's perfect for that fullback crap that Coach Jack Gaddy is famous for. 24 carries for 160 yards on the season. Andy Milligan at right half, a 6'1", 188-pound senior. 31 carries for 229 yards on the season. He's the leading rusher on the Crimson Tide team in the first 3 games. Matty Ekstrom at the other halfback in that T formation back there, 5'10" senior, 167 pounds, 24 carries, 78 yards on the season. And Shane Stafford will be in there at fullback. He will get the same number of carries as Ekstrom, Mayo, Milligan, and Stafford. He has 23 for 187 yards and a touchdown on the season. 4 backs, along with quarterback Ryan McGonigal, who has 22 carries on the season. So you're talking about 5 kids with an equal number of carries in the Jack Gaddy scheme of things here at Memorial Field. McGonigal is a 190-pound senior. He has 8 for 18 in passing with a touchdown and 3 interceptions all last week. And he has carried for 122 yards. He's quite a threat coming around that corner to either pass or run. Exeter High School will start Kevin Walsh at center. He's a 5'10" senior. Mike Cortez and Kim Lamontang, senior guards. Jason Robinson and Derek Morris, senior tackles. Brandon Levesque will move from end to quarterback tonight, and will pick up the rest of the Blue Hawk starters right after the Crimson Tide Marching Band play the national anthem. Play in the Concord High School Marching Band. How would you rate that performance tonight?
Oh, very, very good. Bill Matavia and the gang really doing a terrific job getting these kids ready for the game, and it's good to have them back with us again, more or less.
Would you give them a 10?
I'd give them a 10.
Oh, that was terrific.
I'd give them a 10. Yeah, absolutely. They sound great this year, getting better every game, too. So we are just about set to go with high school football here Concord won the toss, but they have elected for the 4th game in a row to kick off. They will be going from left to right across your radio dial. The Exeter Blue Hawks will receive and have first possession of the football on this Friday night, and they will be going from right to left across your radio dial. So we have, so I just looked down to the darkened scoreboard. We're going to tell you about that in just a moment, but there's also a sign down there that says, "Welcome to the Terror Dome." Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. Concord set to go, left to right across your radio dial. Here's the voice of Concord High football on WKXL, Harvey Smith.
Hi, Bruce LeBoy, and we are underway as the kick comes all the way down to Rick Borden at the 10. He's up to the 20, zigs at the 30, cuts inside the 35, gets piled up at about the 35 on that cut, and there's a flag down on the field on the tackle, and let's see where the penalty will be assessed here. Good kickoff by Garrett Stum right there.
Good kickoff and a good kickoff return. The call is going to go against the Blue Hawks, though, so they're going to be backed up on the very first play from scrimmage. What we were going to mention about the scoreboard was that there is not one here tonight. The brand new $7,000 piece of equipment in North End Zone, absolutely dark. From what I understand, they had some problems with it a week ago in the Bishop Brady game that was here, and it went downhill ever since. And they just do not have a scoreboard here for us at Memorial Field. So we'll do the best we can by telling you right now, Exeter setting up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Harvey?
All right, a wing tee to the left. Levesque takes the snap, hands off to his fullback, who comes right up over the right tackle and veers to the outside and gets thrown out of bounds by about 5 crimson-shirted tacklers down there as Tim Arinder, a 5'8 senior, got the carry. He's joined in that Blue Hawk backfield by Eric Borden, 5'10 junior, 175 pounds. Gene Peichel is in there, 5'8", 155-pound junior, and a Derek Levine in the backfield tonight. And Brendan Levesque, a 5'11 junior, getting the start tonight. Look at that T formation by the Blue Hawks down there at the 27-yard line. It is a counter play. Borden gets the call. He comes off left tackle from his right half position right up to the 35-yard line. A nice play by Exeter, and it looks like a Blue Hawk first down. It was a counter, a fake to the right halfback, and a comeback with the left halfback, and right up over the touchdown.
Out to the 36-yard line, Harvey. A pickup of 8 yards on the play, rather. They needed 7. They got the 8. It's a 1st and 10, the first down of the ball game, and a little wrinkle right up the bat by the Blue Hawks.
T formation by the Blue Hawks. And Rinder gets the call. He goes straight over the right guard and veers a couple of yards to his right. He went more sideways than he did forward, but he picked up 2 yards. And now they move it back.
Yeah, they're going to mark that at the 37, so that's a pickup of 1, as it turns out, on the play. 2nd down and 9. Not a very kind spot of the ball, Harvey. I thought he was further downfield than that.
I did too. Derek Rugg and Derek Levine on the ends right now. And Levesque, the quarterback. He was playing halfback for the first 3 games, but he's pressed into service tonight. Straight give to Levine at the halfback position. He comes right over the right tackle position for about 2. And it brings up a big 3rd down play for the Blue Hawks. They would like to keep this ball away from Concord's high-powered offense here in the first period.
Well, the ball out to the 39-yard line, a pickup of only 2, as it turns out, and so it is a 3rd down and 7, and maybe a long 6 or short 7, shall we say, for the Hawks.
All right, now the wing tee to the it's an I formation with a man in the slot on the right side. The counter again, mix up in the backfield. Tackle is Gene Peichel, and he gets to the original line of scrimmage. He was wrapped up in the backfield, and he did well to come up to the original line of scrimmage, and he even picked up a yard, but it's going to force Exeter to punt this football into the hands of Concord High School's hungry offense.
Peichel made something out of nothing there for sure. Another pickup of 2 yards, so it's a 4th down and 5 out to the 41-yard line, but collision in the backfield, and Peichel just took the ball and kept his mind about him and kept those legs moving and picked up 2 yards.
Ross, Stafford, and Woodard back for the Crimson Tide. The punt is into the air. And it comes to Ekstrom. Ekstrom fakes it to Ross. He comes around the right side from the 30 up to the 35 and gets piled into about the 37-yard line. The Crimson Tide with a little razzle-dazzle on the kickoff, on the punt return, stop the football, their offense from the 38-yard line.
Their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10, a 5-yard return on there, the punt there. And ordinarily, I'd give you the time right now. That's why I'm stumbling around, because I've got to get used to the fact that there is no time to give you. They're on their own 38, 1st and 10. in the first quarter. No score.
Concord High, T formation. Savoy and Gott on the ends, tight in the T. They're great blocking ends. McGonigal at quarterback, Ekstrom, Mayo, and Milligan tight behind McGonigal. First play for the Crimson Tide tonight. Second man through, it's Milligan. He gets the call, and McGonigal keeps the ball around the left end. He's going to go all the way. He's at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. All alone into the end zone goes Ryan McGonigal with a 57-yard touchdown scamper. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage, so let's see what the crowd. He faked it to Mayo, the first man through. I thought he gave it to Ekstrom, the second man through, or Milligan, but he kept it on his hip and he went all the way, and it's coming back.
62 yards, and I was thinking, boy, that is an incredible fake that McGonigal had. Then all of a sudden he shifted hands with the football, and I saw he was carrying Pumpkin down there. My goodness, a 62-yard touchdown run on the first play from scrimmage, and it's coming back, and we'll see what the call is. It's on the Crimson Tide.
You heard Brian O'Reilly at Pinkerton last week tell us that the only time Concord would ever get called for holding is if they try the end-around play.
It is.
They got it right there. Ryan McGonigal, that's the fourth time this year he has rushed long yardage for a touchdown. This one's coming back. First and 15 for the Crimson Tide. Now let's see if they can regroup. Milligan gets the call this time. He busts right up the middle for 5 or 6 yards. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
You know, that run by McGonigal, Harvey, I mean, there was absolutely nobody from Exeter within 15 yards of him. And even the Concord players, I mean, he was literally all alone from about the 20-yard line into the end zone.
And what surprised me, Bruce, was the speed, the burst of speed down there.
2nd and 10 from their own 38 for Concord.
T formation, everybody in tight. Second man through, Ekstrom gets met right at the line of scrimmage by the linebacker, Gene Michael. The inside linebacker came across the line of scrimmage and put the hit on Matty right at the line of scrimmage. And a matter of fact, it looks like a little bit of a loss on the play. No, they're going to spot the football up ahead a little bit and give him 2 yards.
Yeah, 3rd down and 8 coming up, and Ekstrom a little bit slow coming up out of that pile, but I have a hunch it's just because somebody was on top of him.
Well, 3rd down. Fullback trap or McGonigal on the option around the end, pass or run. Let's see. T formation is the set for the Crimson Tide. Long count. Fake to the first man. Second man through is Milligan. He goes up close to the... No, he's not even close to the first down. Concord's going to have to punt it away, or will Jack Gaddy run a 4th down play from here?
Well, Wilson at their own 43-yard line. Pick up 3 more yards on the play. It brings up a 4th down and 5. And...
Exeter's playing punt. They're moving everybody back.
Oh, sure. Well, that would be the textbook, but Jack has written his own textbook in state of New Hampshire high school football. So we'll see.
Referring to last week, where Brian O'Reilly Pinkerton said, Jack, the only coach in state with guts enough to go for it on 4th down. That's why he wins. Ryan McGonigal is back in punt formation. They're not even trying to draw them offside. Steps up to the 35, puts it in the air, gets a spiral. Fair catch down at the 25-yard line. Signaled by Tim Rinder, and the Exeter Bluehawks will get the ball for the 2nd time. And defensively, Exeter High off to a great start here. They did give up that 62-yard touchdown run, but it was called back. Other than that, they contained Concord's T pretty well in the first series.
Yeah, you look at the paper in the morning on the stat sheet, and you'll see that 62-yard touchdown run isn't even there, but we saw it. It happened. It's just that it didn't count. So they're at their own 25-yard line, the Exeter Blue Hawks, going 1st and 10, right to left across your radio dial.
Wing T formation to the left side, and the officials are now asking the Concord High people for a different ball, and the condensation setting in already.
Absolutely.
No wind, but the field is starting to well up just a little bit.
Well, the temperature and the dew point got to be real close together right now tonight, and that's what's causing the condensation on the ball. Plus the fact, I mean, you look at back a couple of nights ago, thank goodness we are playing in that mess. And the way the weather has turned out, we have lucked out again this weekend, Harvey. The forecast for tomorrow's Brady-Monadnock game is great, too.
T formation for Exeter. 1st and 10. Their 2nd try with the ball. First man through is Levine. He gets the call of a right tackle, and he's met pretty hard right there by Tom Marshall. Defensively, Concord High is a little different look tonight. They've taken Andy Milligan, the inside linebacker, and put him out on the left end, and they've taken the sophomore, Savoy, and they've put him up over the middle at the linebacker position. Right now, Concord High spreading out its defense pretty well. They only have the line, and they're spread out all over the place. Straight running play, and the linemen are doing their job because Exeter can't exploit. Concord High really has widened that offense a little bit, I mean, that defense down there.
Absolutely. Incidentally, you hear more music in the background. That's not the Exeter band, folks. That is the Concord High School pep band, which has electric guitars and a drum kit and everything down here to our right. And they are kind of supplementing the Concord High School band, shall we say.
Woody Anderson, Greg Herrick, and the Netmen, I call them. They have electricity, they have electric guitars over there, and they were just playing Wild Thing. Kids like that music.
Oh, yeah.
High formation for the Blue Hawks. A reverse. Levine gets the call, comes around the left side, and as he looks like he was going to break it, he gets swarmed under. Blake Savoy held him up for a minute, and then Ryan McGonigal really put a hit on him. What a tackle by Ryan in the open field.
It sure was. He was hit 2 yards shy of the first down, but forward motion carried him across the 35 to the 37-yard line, which is good for Exeter's second first down of the game, and they have a 1st and 10 at their own 37-yard line, Harvey.
These kids are always well prepared under Dick Eustace out of Exeter.
Oh, yeah.
Well coached, well coached. All right, first man through, gets the call. Rinder, left side 40, turns the corner, he's up to the 50, down to the Concord 45, and he's thrown out of bounds somewhere near the Concord High 40. But another nice game. Tim Rinder, 5'8" senior with a lot of speed. He went off the right tackle hole, found a little bit of traffic, and then scooted to the outside around the traffic and made a long gainer out of it.
Back-to-back first downs. They are into Concord territory now, down to the 43-yard line. You mentioned that the kids like that kind of music down there, Harvey, but I see one or two parents moving away. It's kind of loud.
Wild Thing. All right. Levesque called signal. T formation. First man gets the call. It's Borden, the halfback, left tackle. He makes a tackle at the 35, down to the 30, inside toward the 27. And Exeter, with long gaiters, they're ripping huge holes in that Concord defensive line.
Boy, I'll tell you, back-to-back first downs now as they have the ball on the 28-yard line.
Brendan Levesque, a 5'11" junior, has been a halfback for the last 2 years, and they have other backup quarterbacks, but Coach Eustace told me he was his best athlete. And when Mike Olson, the regular quarterback, went down last week with a serious knee injury at the Manchester Memorial, he put Levesque in there, the good athlete, and I think he's running the offense very, very well.
That was a pickup of 15 yards on the play. We had a helmet problem on the Concord side. They were able to fix it right there on the field, so we are now after a momentary delay. No score still in the first quarter. We can't tell you the time because the scoreboard is dark.
Brand new scoreboard. It's in the dark here tonight.
Yep.
All right, first man through gets the call. That is Gene Pico, the fullback, 5'8" junior, and he makes a couple of yards, and he paid the price. Mayo came up and stuck him pretty well with a tough hit low.
The scoreboard was made in Atlanta, Georgia, Harvey, and the folks from Recreation and Parks who work here were on the phone with Atlanta, Georgia, a good part of this week, trying different things.
Everybody in Atlanta, Bruce, is out to the ballpark watching the Atlanta Braves. There's nobody in the office anymore.
Well, that apparently is the case because nobody knew how to fix our scoreboard.
All right, T formation, second down and 8. First man through is the fullback. He gets the call, and he's buried right at the line of scrimmage. And the stop this time made by Tom Marshall, Dave Velocich, and again Mayo coming up to help out.
And they are going to give him about a 2-yard loss on the play. The ball back to the 27-yard line.
Third down for Exeter, and about 9 yards for a first down. They have the ball on Concord's 27. No score first period. If you just joined us here on the radio, stay with us. It's been a good one so far. Levesque's going to put it in the air, and he's sacked by Savoy, who comes from his inside linebacker position, sacks him back at the 40-yard line, and then he gets up, and Blake Savoy does a shake and bake. What a nice hit. Blake Savoy in his new position came through right over the center, and Levesque was trying to fade back and pass for the first time, and he got sacked.
That's right. Loss of 11 yards on the play at 20 now, and Exeter will punt it away right here.
All right, that's their second punt. Into the air goes the football. Matty Ekstrom back at the 8-yard line. Takes it this time to Stafford. Good hit by Mayo, but it's not going to free the Exeter Blue Hawks. And only some great extra effort hustle by Ekstrom gets that ball finally up to the 10-yard line. He fielded it on the 8-yard line, and then in that fake reverse with Shane Stafford, His momentum took him back to the 5, and he had to really wiggle himself to get up to about the 10, and they spotted on the 11.
Yeah, Matty did a great job to not be tackled right down there within the 5-yard line. As he put on a little deke there to bring it out to the 11-yard line where Concord will take over 1st and 10. No score still, first quarter.
It's pretty well into the first quarter, too. I would guess around 4 minutes left. Offside goes the Exeter right tackle, and before they snap the football, they throw the flags, and Concord's going to pick up 5 yards right here, unless he was drawn offside.
Well, that will even up the penalties, one apiece, both for 5 yards. The Concord penalty a little more costly, though. 5 yards net from the line of scrimmage, but it eliminated a 62-yard touchdown run by Matt McGonigal. This will bring up a first down at 5 now, for they are out to the 16-yard line, their own 16.
Concord High cheerleaders continuing to cheer after every play down on the track. T formation for the Tide, 1st and 5. Fullback gets the call. He comes right up the middle. It's Shane Stafford this time, and he rushes out to the 20. The cheerleaders here tonight are in different uniforms. They have the long athletic warm-up pants on, very sharp-looking sweaters down there, and on a cool night, very nattily attired.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, they mark it now at the 19-yard line, Harvey. That's a pickup of 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 2.
Long one. The Tide can punch it across for a first down here. Exeter moves, but they get back. The call goes to Stafford, the fullback. He roams off left tackle, and if everything goes well, there should be another Concord High first down.
Another? That is their first of the night, Harvey.
Well, it's not their first in that.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you this, Bruce. You look at the matchup here tonight, and I think everybody was anticipating a rout, except if you listen to our pregame, we have a lot of respect for Coach Dick Eustace and Exeter, and they're always prepared against the Tide, and they're playing well here tonight.
Well, people who saw the first run of the play from scrimmage might have expected a rout as well, but the penalty called back the 62-yard touchdown run, and right now, no score late in the first quarter.
The ball give us to Ekstrom, right tackle again, the 30. A nice block, lead block thrown there by Dave Lossage, and a great trap block thrown by Tom Marshall, the guard on the other side, who came across and hit Levine, the end of Exeter, to free Ekstrom for 5 yards. Those pulling guards for Concord High. Marshall and Lossage worked so hard.
Ball is out to the 34-yard line, and that's where Concord, 31-yard line, rather. 2nd down and 4 yards to go for the Tide.
Ekstrom's in the spot on the right side this time, split formation. McGonigal gives it to the 2nd man through. It is Mayo, the fullback. He carries it out to about the 34-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short for a first down here.
Well, now they move it back a little ways to just the other side of the 34-yard line. So a pickup of 3 is up, as Harvey said, a 3rd down and 1 yard to go for the Tide. And where's Exeter going? This must be the end of the first quarter, Harvey. No score. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout.
With the basketball season coming, it's time for teams to be ordering uniforms and supplies. The best way to do that is by calling Jim Burney at Burney Sports in Concord. At Burney Sports, you'll select from the latest in uniforms, sports clothing, and equipment, and they specialize in team jackets with a great choice of sizes, colors, and styles. Best of all, you won't have to travel all over the state because Jim Burney will come to your home or office. If you're outfitting a basketball team this winter, call Burney Sports now at 224-2131, 224-2131. Friends, they're always there, ready to share your ups and downs to help lighten life's loads, to talk with and trust. At Horizon Bank, we're your friends, and we care about. That's why each time you stop in, you'll get a warm smile, friendly greeting, and prompt personal service, because that's what a friend deserves. Whatever your financial needs, see us at Horizon Bank today. While we can't take the place of your best friend, we're behind you all the way, ready to share the load. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
Okay, Ekstrom carried it for the first down here, Harvey, out to the 37-yard line. He needed 1. He picked up 4 on the play. 1st and 10 for Concord, just underway in the second quarter of play. No score between Exeter and the Crimson Tide. Concord's 2nd first down here of the ball game.
Exeter High with 3 Derricks on defense, right on the right side of the defensive line. And Concord High is lined up with the power to that side right now. It is a sprint. Mayo, he turns the corner across the 40 to the 45, cuts up near the 50-yard line. And a nice run by Mike Mayo was that jet play from his fullback position. He took the straight lateral, turned the corner quickly on the right side, and ran it up near midfield for a first down for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, they just launched him up to that side, 48-yard line, pickup of 11 yards on the play, and it's another 1st and 10 for Concord High from their own 48.
No score if you're just joining us tonight. Concord and Exeter, and we're into the second period of play already from the 48 of Concord. Straight running play up the middle, and it gets to the 50 for Shane Stafford. That 4th back in the Concord High School scheme of things. Stafford spells Mike Mayo on occasion. And Mayo, Milligan, Ekstrom, Stafford, and Ryan McGonigal somehow all come up with the same number of carries on the average. And Jack Addy's just a master of keeping things balanced.
Okay, Concord in its first penetration into Exeter territory by the length of the football at the 50-yard line, 2nd and 8.
Can you imagine that, the first time they've been across that 50 tonight?
It's only their second possession of the game, Harvey.
Mayo gets the call, fullback track across the 45 and down close to the 40. Nice run by the senior fullback.
This is going to be marked just shut down at the 43-yard line.
The Crimson Tide had a split back formation and still ran the fullback trap, and it confused Exeter. Mayo, with 2 nice runs here, gives Concord a 3rd and a yard. 3rd down and a yard for the Crimson Tide. The ball's at Exeter's 47-yard line. T formation, everybody tight in behind Mayo, the junior quarterback. The snap, the give, and it is Shane Stafford on the carry, and he got to the line of scrimmage, and then did he have enough to cross for that first down, Bruce?
Well, it's going to be real close as Milliken carried it up to, well, with the spot of the football, it's down to about the 42-yard line, Harvey, and they've got to get just over the 42, and they are going to call for a measurement right here, and we'll see just how close he came. It looks very, very close, Harvey. It's close enough so I don't even want to go out on a limb with it. That's how tight it looks from here. They needed 1 yard, and if he got a yard and a foot, then that's pretty good. We'll see. Here's the stretch of the chains, and it looks like he is going to be just
the ref is down on 2 knees for this call. What's he going to do? You make the call.
They are going to mark it about a half an inch shy of the first down. So it'll be a 4th down and an inch for the first down, 42-yard line.
And you know Coach Gaddy will go for it here.
Oh, no question.
In Exeter territory.
4th down and 1 inch.
Concord High is, you ready for this, everybody? 11 of 12 in 4th down conversions this year. That's an amazing stat on the high school level. He gives his kids the opportunity. And they bring that T formation up to the 47. They have to get about a half a length of the football. McGonigal box signals as he looks out at an empty scoreboard here. It is inoperable. The call, Mayo, fullback trap. He's got more as he crosses the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. About a 5-yard pickup and a first down for the Crimson Tide. How many first downs tonight, Bruce?
That is the 4th one, and now they and Exeter both have 4 first downs in the game. They're just across the 40-yard line down to the 39. Did you see McGonigal, or were you following the ball carrier at that point? McGonigal thought they'd scored the way he was jumping up and pointing toward first down territory. It's 1st and 10 at the Exeter 39 for the Crimson Tide.
He's a good leader out there on the field. Good emotional
Only a
quarterback.
junior.
All right, it's the first pass tonight. No, he keeps it because the receivers are covered. He's going to be sacked. It was one of those pop passes that was intended for Blake Savoy, and McGonigal jumped up, put his arm forward, and then pulled the ball back because he saw Savoy was covered. And I have to say, that's his heads-up of play, as we've seen out of Ryan McGonigal all year. He did not release that football.
That's right. Loss of 6 yards on the play out to the 45. 2nd down and 16, and that sure isn't the way they drew it up on the chalkboard back at the locker room. But I guarantee you, that's the way that play should have come out with the way Exeter had the receivers.
We saw McGonigal to Savoy a few times last week against Pinkerton go for good yardage.
Yep.
Milligan in the slot, first man through, gets the call, and he's going to go. Shane Stafford's at the 30, down to the 20, cuts inside the 15, down around the 10, and he's into the end zone, but he stepped out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. The fullback trap this time with Stafford instead of Mayo, and he fooled everybody here. He got the call right off, and those Concord High kids carried out their fakes after Stafford. He was off to the races, but he stepped out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
Off to the races, I guess. Boy, did he motor down the sideline. He cut wide, and Concord High band thinks that they scored.
Crimson Tide are going to take a timeout here. No, Exeter wants to talk about it. Concord's at the 9-yard line. Scoreless ball game. Second period. Come back and join us.
The S&W Sports Shop is having a clearance sale on the entire stock of fishing equipment at 40% off the regular price. That's right, you save 40% off everything in the fishing department at S&W Sports Shop. Quality brand names like Mitchell, Berkeley, Shakespeare, and Shimano. Fishing reels, rods, and poles. Tackle boxes, lines, and lures. Everything at 40% off during the S&W Sports Shop's fishing equipment clearance sale. The new 1992 Alpine and cross-country ski merchandise is arriving daily, and room must be made for fall and winter ski products. Come next spring, all new fishing equipment will be available into the 1992 fishing season. There's still plenty of good fall fishing left, and there's still plenty of quality fishing equipment for you to catch this fall at the S&W Sports Shop at their 40% off sale now in progress. S&W Sports Shop at 238 South Main Street, Concord, open Monday through Thursday 9 to 6, Friday evenings till 8, and Saturday you can take advantage of the 40% off fishing sale from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Harvey, a 36-yard pickup there by Stafford brought the ball. Concord will have a 1st and goal from the 9.
All right, Concord High brings its T formation up to the 9-yard line. They send Ekstrom flanked out 20 yards to the right. Backs are split behind McGonigal. Long count. First man through gives a fake. McGonigal gives it to the second man through, and he's piled up at the line of scrimmage. Stafford has the call inside the 8-yard line. And a nice deception down there, but another flag down on the field.
Face mask on Exeter.
That's going to give Concord a 1st down and closer to that goal line as McGonigal comes over and talks to Jack Gaddy. We're in the 2nd period here at Memorial Field. No score if you're just joining us on the radio. KXL. Bishop Brady tomorrow on the radio and a Red Sox baseball. And the ball is moved inside the 5. And what's that do for us, Bruce?
That sets up a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line for the Crimson Tide.
All right. When the Saints go marching in, plays the Concord High band. Well, let's see if the Tide can do it here. Second man through gets the call. It is Ekstrom on the carry. No, it's a fake. Andy Milligan punches it in. Touchdown, Concord High, and no flags on the field. So the Crimson Tide break on top. And they lead it here in the 2nd period, 6-0 with the ensuing point after try coming up.
Okay, 4-yard touchdown run by Andy Milligan, and it is a score for Concord High. They lead 6-0 here in the game with the point after touchdown coming here, and we'll see.
We didn't see Garrett stump. 7 of 9 on the year. The ball is down. His foot is into it. It's up in the air. It has the distance, and he gets it. He's now 8 for 10, and Concord leads it 7-0 against Exeter with about 6 minutes to play here in the half. Come back and join us for more Concord High football.
The area's family footwear center, Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in downtown Concord, invites you to the locker room. It's the new locker room at Denroy Shoes, and it's chock full of great Nike footwear and Nike clothing. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nikes for men, for women, and for children. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nike gym and book bags, Nike hats, Nike t-shirts, Nike sweats, and cool, comfortable Nike nylon jackets and pants. You'll love the selection, and you'll find the values outstanding. Of course, for athletic footwear, the locker at Denroy Shoes just can't be beat for selection. Men and women can choose a Nike shoe for every athletic activity, from walking to cross-training, from tennis to basketball, from cleated to running, from force to the Nike Ear. So when it comes to athletic footwear, you look to Nike. And when it comes to Nike, look to the locker room at Denroy Shoes, 76 North Main Street, in the heart of downtown Concord.
Well, the kickoff by Concord High School went out of bounds, so we had to tell you that the Concord scoring drive, 89 yards, Harvey, 13 plays, and it was an Andy Milliken 4-yard touchdown run. And Garrett Stum, the point after touchdown, 7-0, Concord leading Exeter here in the 2nd quarter of play. And again, we can't give you the time because the clock is not working, the scoreboard is not working. And they have some folks from Georgia, I understand, coming in to work on it, or they'll be back on the phone with them tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll have it for the Bishop Brady game, but it doesn't look real good. Here's Concord's kickoff from their own 35-yard line this time after the penalty, Harvey.
They back Concord up 5 yards. Garrett Stump puts his foot into the ball. Soccer-style kick gets it down to about the 20. It's bobbled there. And then it's picked up by the last back possible, and he runs it up to about the 35-yard line. Eric Borden, who is fullback, had a little trouble with that ball at the 20, but he still got it up to about the 35-yard line. Had he fielded it cleanly, he would have had more yards than that.
Yeah, a little piece of good running there as he picked up about 18, 19 yards on the return after fumbling the ball back at his just inside the 20-yard line, as Harvey said. They are out to the 36-yard line, where Exeter takes over 1st and 10 from the 6.
Brendan Levac, the quarterback tonight. T formation. First man through. Borden gets the call right side. He pops ahead for about 3 tough yards. If you're just joining us, Concord High just scored moments ago the first touchdown of the game. Andy Milligan, his 3rd touchdown of the season, a 4-yard plunge. And Garrett Stum with his 8th point after touchdown. He's 8 for 10, and Concord leads it 7-0 here with about 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Pickup of 3 yards on the play out to their own 39-yard line. 2nd and 7 for the Blue Hawks.
We're going to talk to Dover High School's new head coach, Bill Bushing, at halftime. The Green Wave off to 3-0 start this year.
They have Winnicott tomorrow, so they should go 4-0, Harvey.
Rinda gets the call, 5'8" senior halfback, turns the corner for a couple of more yards, and that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 4 for Exeter here. Their ball is 40 out to about the 42-yard line. Concord and Exeter, a real good ball game in progress. Stay with us on the radio.
Pickup of 3 yards on the play, 3rd and 4, as Harvey said, and they are at their own 42-yard line, the Exeter Blue Hawks.
T formation. Imagine Exeter throwing a T back at the Crimson Tide a little bit. It's a delay, and Borden gets the call. He's up to about the 45, and he wished he hadn't because he got thrown back real hard. A great hit down there. You like to see hits like that. Tim Thompson, rugged interior lineman for the Crimson Tide, used all 216 pounds and put him down tough.
Oh, I'll tell you, Thompson hit him square in the belly, bent him over like a jackknife folding up, and just put him down right at the 45-yard line. Pick up a 3 yards on the play. 4th down and 1 yard to go, and is Exeter going to go for it? They are setting up in
quite a hitter this year on the season. 4 fumbles over the first 2 games. He really is a hitter. Nope, we're going to punt the football. Exeter from the 35 puts it in the air. Back to Stafford at about his 25. He heads to the right side of the field near that right hash mark, now to the right sideline at about the 35-yard line, and he runs out of bounds before Exeter can closes him down. And this time, no fake reverse off the punt reception, just a straight run around the end.
That's right. Stafford got it and headed toward the right-hand sidelines, hoping to open up a seam down that right-hand side. A little bit of blocking in front of him, however, 1 or 2 of the Hawks got through and put him down at his own 36-yard line. And that's where Concord will take over 1st and 10, leading 7-0 here in the ball game.
The last time Concord High marched 89 yards in 13 plays. Let's see what they put together here from their 35. It is a pitch to Stafford. He turns that right corner and heads out of bounds before he can fully turn it. He got around the end, but that's as far as he could go, and then he had to scoot diagonally to his right and out of bounds. Picked up 2 yards, though.
On that scoring drive, Harvey, Concord picked up all of its first downs, all 5 that they have in the ball game. Dover High
3-0 on the season, and the Green Wave will be at Winnicott to take on Dickie Gagne's Winnicott War in a battle, an all-seacourse battle. We'll talk to Bill Bushin of Dover at halftime here.
Concord will be playing at Dover on the last weekend of the season.
And at Winnicott, second to last weekend of the season.
Boy, that could be a big game. Both of those.
Ekstrom in motion for the Crimson Tide. First man through is the fullback, and Exeter knows that's coming as they trap Mayo right at the line of scrimmage here.
Interesting game over on the Seacoast tonight, Harvey. Spalding and Portsmouth.
That's a big game. Both teams at 2-1, and that's a make-or-break-it game. The winner sets itself up real well for the playoffs. The loser sets itself up to have to play the last 4 games in a scramble position for playoff position. Sure. 18 teams for 8 positions. That's unheard of in a football conference. There just are no conferences in high school or college across the country that have 18 teams. It's too many for football. 3rd down for the Tide and 7 yards to go. McGonigal to the left side. He wants going to get sacked in the backfield. Back there at the 35-yard line. He was rolling to his left side. He's a right-handed quarterback, and that makes it even tougher for him to plant those feet. He could not as he got hit from behind. A good sack by Tim Rinder, the linebacker on that side, and Concord's going to have to punt it.
Yep. loss of 3 yards on the play. It's a 4th down and 9, and that is the 3rd sack if you count the one where he threw the ball but didn't actually. But McGonigal has been passed 3 times tonight and has not gotten the ball launched once.
So McGonigal is back at his 25-yard line. Dave Velocich is in there at center. Nice snap back to Ryan. Ryan gets his foot in the air. It's up over the lights. It's a short kick, but a high kick. Comes down at the 40 and then takes a Concord high roll back to the 35. What else? We have addressed the ongoing grooming of this beautiful lawn out here on the football field. Johnny Hardiman and Tommy Wright and Andy Pappas, they mow the lawn so that all the Concord High and Bishop Brady punts take a local bounce, and it did again. It's been uncanny this year.
It sure has. Incidentally, Harvey, just to let you know, since the touchdown was scored early in the 2nd quarter, Exeter took the ball on the kickoff, had the ball at their own 36. They punted to Concord on their own 36. Concord punted to Exeter. They're on their own 6. We're in a rut.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, you expected a rout tonight? Don't ever count a Dick Eustace coach team out of a ball game. Exeter are well prepared. They trail 7-0 with the football here.
At their own 36.
And it is a pitch back, and it's a fumble, and making a nice recovery is Gene Peichel, the fullback. He bobbled the ball and then fell on it so that Concord High couldn't recover it.
We've seen that twice tonight where a kickoff or a punt, I think it was the kickoff that was fumbled, and he picked up some nice yardage after having the ball bounce right back in his arms, and that's what happened here, too. He did lose 2 yards on the play, but it could have been a lot worse as he was stumbling along trying to get the ball up off the ground. 2nd and 12 from their own 34-yard line.
We have not seen an Exeter pass tonight. Levesque is a quarterback pressed into service because of their regular quarterback being down. He gives the ball to Borden. He fumbles the football out near the 40. Concord and the Crimson Tide have the ball in Exeter territory late here in the 2nd period, leading 7-0. Can they punch one in here before time runs out? Dover High's Green Wave beat Central 43-19 in the first week, beat Memorial 21-14 the second week. They beat the Purple Panthers of Nashville last week 28-19, and we will talk to the head man, Bill Bushing.
And you know, it wasn't until Dover beat Nashua that people started to take them seriously, Harvey. I don't understand that.
They've always had a lot of talent down there, and Bill has them well organized, and it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts. They're trying the football things down there. The cheerleaders, here's a long pass, but the ball is fading. They're trying to hit us up here. I have an inside tip that the cheerleaders are going to try to get a football up here, Bruce, because they know you like such things.
Oh, absolutely, sure. Well, I'll tell you what, that arm down there, it's not going to make it up here.
Dylan Beeson, the backup quarterback, has been given the cheerleaders lessons on how to grip that football with the thumb over the seam so they can get a spiral. And it's always a fun moment for the fans here when those cheerleaders unleash those footballs, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. I mean, that draws a crowd. There's no doubt about it.
And only since Mike Griffith have we seen a football. He's the only one that has been able to reach the box.
Thrown up here to the back of the bleachers.
And he did it 3 times that year.
Yep. And
right into our window.
That is a good throw, too, from down there.
It is.
Time is a factor here as we get down close to halftime with Concord leading 7-0. They have the ball 1st and 10 on the Exeter 42-yard line after recovering the fumble. But we don't know how much time there is left.
We'll see what they run for an offense here. That should tip us off here.
That should.
All right, fullback trap. Mayo has the call. He's across the 40, down to the 30. A man to beat at the 35. He's down into the 20, down inside the 10, and he gets hauled down from behind by Levesque. The safety for Exeter. Fullback trap went through there. Mayo all the way down to the 5, but there's a flag down on the play at about the 20-yard line.
And Concord is moving back, but we have not seen an official indication yet. We are about to now. It is holding on Exeter. So the play will stand.
And again, not the quickest fullback in Concord High history. He did break away, but he couldn't hold it. They caught him from behind, Bruce. But he's one of the toughest. He's a tough kid, and he trained hard this summer to get ready for that fullback trap play.
Even so, he did show some speed down there. We have a 1st and goal for Concord now as they are just inside the 5-yard line, down at about the 3.
On the 3-yard line. Keep everybody in tight. Concord looking to go up by 2 touchdowns. Milligan, he bulls ahead. He's near the goal line. He keeps his feet going, and he's hauled down. The Concord kids say he's in, but the officials say no. 2nd down and goal to go from about the 1-foot line.
Now, boy, I tell you.
Milligan was churning, and he had Blue Hawks all over his shoulders. Let's see who gets the call here. Don Ross heads on. Matty Ekstrom heads off.
Milliken has the Concord lone touchdown on a 4-yard touchdown run. He almost, that would not be bad, have 7 yards total yardage and have 2 touchdowns. But
Ross is a big, burly, tough kid. He's at left halfback. Mayo in the middle, Milligan on the right. Who'll get the call from the 1-foot line? There's a fumble, and the quarterback falls on it, McGonigal, and did he have enough for the touchdown? He fumbled the snap from John Forrestal, the center, and he dove down, and he could have had a touchdown on the play. Luckily, he retains possession, and Concord High will have another crack at it. Just what you didn't want was Concord's first fumble tonight. They fumbled 5 or 6 times last week at Pinkerton. First one tonight. All right, the ball is at the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go for the Crimson Tide. McGonigal calling signals. The snap, the give. Milligan slashes left tackle. Touchdown. He's in. Andy Milligan gets his 2nd touchdown of the evening, and the Crimson Tide move ahead 13-0 here at Memorial Field against Exeter in the waning minutes of the 2nd period. Andy's 4th touchdown of the year, his 2nd here tonight.
right now, as we stand here, it is 13-0 with Concord on top. The point after touchdown with Garrett Stum's kick is up and coming here, and Milliken with the 2-touch total of 5 yards.
All right, Mayo on the hold at the 10. Stum on the kick, and he's got it up and through the uprights, his 9th PAT of the year, and the Crimson lead at 14-0. We'll be back with Concord's kickoff right after this. Stay with us.
At Horizon Bank, we're your friends and neighbors, and serving you is our #1 priority. That's why we'll never leave you hanging when it comes to your financial needs. Each time you call or visit Horizon Bank, you'll get a friendly greeting and prompt courteous service, because we believe friends should never be kept out in the cold waiting too long. Whether you want to discuss checking services, savings plans, taking out a loan, or whatever, come on in. Our lines of communication are always open, always warm. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
Exeter's 5th possession of the football coming up. Concord's only had the football 4 times in this game, Harvey, and they've scored 2 of those times. They have a 14-0 lead here with the kickoff up and coming. And there is a slight delay here for whatever reason. And here's the whistle, and we are ready to go. Harvey Smith.
All right. Stum puts his foot into the football, and he kicks an onside kick this time, and is picked up by Peichel at about his 35. He circles back across the field and gets up to his 36, and that's all he can make. He's 5 yards to pick up 1 yard because he was running sideways.
I'll tell you what, Exeter, I think, anticipated that onside kick, too, because they had some of their backs up tight, and
one of the
handled that ball.
players being carried off is John Forrestal, the starting center, and
not good news.
No, he's being carried off the football field. Looks like he hurt his ankle, and they are attending to him now down at that Concord High bench. All right, I formation for Exeter, dying minutes of the first half here. 3 fakes and then a give to Borden, the fullback, and he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. He breaks that one now, comes around that left side across the 40. 3 Concord High kids had him pinned in there, and he had the speed to out-circle them and outrun them around that left side.
Yeah, he, again, made something out of nothing right there, as he's going to have the ball out to the 40-yard line, Harvey, where it'll be a 2nd down, and, well, he picked up from the play. So it's a 2nd and 7 right from the 40-yard line.
Exeter High looking for victory number 2. Concord looking for victory number 3 this year. Straight give, middle of the line. Levine gets the call. He goes straight ahead. Exeter not looking like they're in any hurry to throw long downfield. Again, we do not know how many minutes left here in the first half. The scoreboard is out tonight, and that's always fun. On hand, though, another good crowd for
absolutely.
Home fan stands here, fairly well packed.
3rd and 4 from their own 43.
Split back formation. Levine gets the call, right side across the 40, up to the 45, up to about the 47-yard line, very close to an Exeter first down. It wouldn't surprise me to see them measure for this one right here.
Yeah, we'll see. That is just a little bit off to an angle for us, so they are indeed going to measure right here. This would be their 5th first down of the first half of play. Concord has 6, but Concord also has 14 points. The stat that really counts is out in favor of the Crimson Tide. As we say, 14-0.
Can be deceiving. Well, you think of last week. First down for Exeter down there. You think of Concord had 11 first downs to Exeter's 10. To Pinkerton's 10. Concord had 48 plays on offense. Pinkerton's 42.
Yep.
the time of possession, there were only 38 seconds difference between the two, and yet 38-0 Pinkerton. Stats are deceiving. Exeter has a new life here in the closing minutes of the half. I formation for the Blue Hawks. Straight give, pull back up the middle. Goes Borden as he goes right up the middle, and then there's a fumble at the end of the play, and Exeter retains possession, and the Concord kids don't like it. They feel they had it. They all jump up and down in circles like Indians on the warpath. They circle the official, and they're stomping their feet on the ground, but Exeter will retain possession.
The yellow hanky didn't come out, so obviously it was just stamping and stomping and no speaking. They're up to the 44-yard line of Concord. Pick up a 6 yards on the play, brings up a 2nd down and 4.
And that could be the half. There's a timeout on the field. No, that is going to end the first half. Close. And see, the kids in the field really didn't know the time either, because you would have thought Exeter would have tried to go long a couple of times to punch one in here. But the Crimson Tide are going to take a 14-0 lead into their home locker room to our left down below. And Exeter is going to try to regroup. I thought Exeter put up a terrific fight here in the first half. Don't let that score deceive you. Exeter did run the football well at times here against Concord High, and I thought we had a well-played first half of football. We're going to talk to Bill Bushing, the head coach of Dover High. He's new. He used to coach Dover in the old days, and he's back at the helm, and he has the Green Wave off to a nice 3-0 start this year, and it'll be interesting to get his thoughts on his views on Class L. And if you think back to a year ago, Dover won victory, and that was right here at Memorial Field on the last regular season.
Oh, yeah. That one hurt.
that one really hurt Concord High, but they still made the playoffs. So we're going to talk to Bill Bushing and bring you our halftime right after this. Stay with us. Concord leading it 14-0. We'll be right back.
You know, high school sports are a source of great interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the communities they represent. High school sports help bring a community together, common focus to care about and to cheer for. Now, because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high school sports are about a lot more than winning and losing. They're about working together and growing together. And that's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, on behalf of its clients and friends, is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to our community. And even more pleased to be part of a community that cares so much for its young people. Bobby Young and the staff of Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street in Concord would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone associated with the Concord High and Bishop Brady football teams the very best of luck during their 1991 football seasons. You know, high school sports play a very important role in any successful community. And through the dedicated hard work put in by the staff and members, the Crimson Tide and Green Giant players learned to work together as a team, each member completing their assignment in order to accomplish a common team goal. Now, the teamwork learned by this year's group of young men on the rosters of Bishop Brady and Concord will become a lifelong lesson on how to a common goal through athletics, knowing that how you play the game will become examples of how you go through life long after one has covered the 100 yards on the football field. This message from your florist in Concord, Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street. And again, good luck to both Concord High and Bishop Brady.
We are at halftime here at Memorial Field in Concord. I'm Harvey Smith along with Bruce LeBoy for WKXL Sports tonight. Gardner Hill back at the station engineering us. And the Crimson Tide enjoy a 14-0 halftime lead over Exeter's Blue Hawks. The Blue Hawks, a heavy underdog here, came in here and held Concord to a scoreless first period, and only 2 late half touchdowns by Andy Milligan. The difference here, a 4-yard touchdown run for his 3rd touch season, and then Milligan would come back with a 1-yard plunge for the 2nd touchdown, and the Concord leads it 14-0. Garrick Stum 2 for 2, an extra point try. Concord High School's band down on the field right now with their new color guard and their new uniforms, and putting on a nice show for the large crowd in attendance here on a Friday night. Bill Bushing, the Dover High School coach, is with me in the podcast booth. And where do you hear this itinerary, folks? Bucksport, Maine. He coached Littleton, New Hampshire. came to Dover in 61 through 65, went to Arcadia University up there in Nova Scotia, came back to Dover, 68 through 77, retired again. And then they say good things happen in threes, Coach. You're back again. Let's just say that you're a seasoned veteran coaching behind the bench there at Dover High. Whatever brought you back for a third time there?
Well, I guess I'll probably ask you myself. I'm not really sure. I know that Dover's football fortunes have been down quite a bit the last 4 years, and I guess that's no secret. I had a few people inquire as to whether I might be interested. One very close friend of mine, Jim Dunn, who was coaching at Rochester, and he really emphasized the fact that he'd like to see me come back, and if I did, that he would come over and coach again with me. And Jimmy and I go back a long ways. When he graduated from college, I hired him immediately and brought him on our staff, and so for many years we've been very close friends. And I guess just the idea of getting a chance to work with him again a little bit, and hopefully coming back to see if we couldn't establish some of the pride that I've always known Dover teams to have. That's a little bit of a challenge, and I guess I really couldn't pass it up, so here I am.
Well, Bill, my observation broadcasting Class L football over the last 5 or 6 years, that I thought Dover had a lot of talent, and a lot of those kids ended up in fine Division I programs around the East Coast in college, and yet they didn't have the W's that I thought perhaps they were capable of over the last 4 or 5 years. I really do think they had some capable players and a chance to be right up there with the heavy in there.
Well, I can't really say because I was away for several years out of state. I came back late in 1988, moved back here to New Hampshire, and of course the football season was over. I did see a couple, 3 games in 1989 and a few more in 1990, and you know, I haven't got any reason to think one way or the other about the football team. I can only talk about when I'm connected with it and what we do or what we don't do, and I really don't know what the problem was. I watched them as a fan, not as a coach, and you know, they're just too bad. They couldn't seem to put it all together to win, and what the reason was, I really don't know.
You know, last year, their one victory, you know where it came, don't you? Right here on this field, last game of the season. Jack Gaddy had he didn't have one of his powerhouse teams, but they made the playoffs, and Dover almost ruined Concord High's playoff chances with a terrific game here to end the season and then go into your first year on an upbeat. They played a super game, and I'm sure you look forward to your meeting with Coach Gaddy later on in the season.
Well, we're not looking forward to any of them. We have a football game tomorrow that is going to be all we want, and Winnicott High School come along very strong, and you know, after kids I've coached have only won 3 games in the last, so we don't look past anybody. We're scared to death of everyone we have to play each weekend, and I tell the kids that's what I want. I want you afraid of one thing, and that is that you might lose. That's what I want you scared to death of. I don't want you thinking about the fact that we can win. I just want you scared to death we can lose. That's where we go in each weekend.
The score here at halftime, if you're just joining us, Concord 14, Exeter nothing. We're talking at half to Bill Bushin, the head man at Dover High School. And Dover, Bill will sit here and tell us about how they're scared to death week after week. But, folks, Dover is 3-0 right now. They have handled Central, Memorial, and Nashua fairly with ease, and now they head to Winnicott tomorrow. Come on, Coach, 3-0, you got to be somewhat pleased with the turnaround.
Oh, I'm delighted. I'm delighted. When you talk about with ease, we had to come from behind to beat Memorial with, we went 78 yards in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We were only 2 points ahead of Nashua until 16 seconds to go in the game. So we haven't won any of these ball games with ease. Believe me, I'm telling you right now, I don't want any fingernails left or nerves either. If those are easy, I don't want to see any of the tough ones.
Well, Winnicott High, coached by an old friend, Dick Gagne, a good friend of mine, and his kids put one together last week, and they beat Central 24-14, and they're going to be on upbeat when you go over there tomorrow.
Oh, they certainly are. You know, they lost to Nashville by 2 points the week before, so they've come on very strong week after week, and we find them to be a very formidable opponent. And if no one else is worried about them, I promise you I am.
Have you seen them this year, Winnicott?
In their opening game against Memorial, and they were not a good football team that day. However, they have come on leaps and bounds. You know, they're fairly young, and very talented youngsters. And if they are not right up there this year, I would have to say that the next 2 seasons they're going to be very talented football players.
Well, you certainly are painting an exciting picture for Concord High fans, because Concord has to go to Winnicott in the second to last week of the season down there, and then they go to your place on the last regular weekend of football play here in Class L, and before that it's Portsmouth and Spalding. So it's going to be a seacoast menu for the Crimson Tide, and I'm sure you guys are all down there lying in wait for Jack Gaddy and the boys.
Well, you know, when it comes time to play them, we'll be working for that game. But to be very honest with you, we really are taking them one at a time. I mean, you know, to us, we salvage whatever we can, and we savor a victory. So our entire effort is towards Winnicott. That's what everything that we're doing is thinking right now. The weekend after, it's going to be Exeter, and that's why we're here tonight. And when we get to the end of the season, God willing, and we're still healthy and improving, then we'll do our versus Concord. This is a fine Concord football team, but happily for us, we don't have to play them tomorrow.
Listen, it's 14-0 at halftime. I'll just tune in our fans that are just tuning us in. Concord leading, 2 Andy Milligan touchdowns from in close. Exeter put up a nice fight here. They were a decided underdog, and Coach Bill Bushing of Dover, your observations about the first half, and especially Exeter really being tenacious out here.
Well, they are. I've watched them play a couple of times. They're tough opponents. I think the thing that I'm really surprised at is the fact they have not yet put the ball in the air against Concord. They have a very good kid, you know, in Olsen.
Yeah, their quarterback, yeah.
He is a terrific football player, both offensively, defensively, and certainly a team leader. However, the young man they have backing him up is a pretty fair passer of the football, and I'm really surprised that they haven't put the ball in the air, most especially here at the end of the first half. I was positive that they'd start to throw to loosen things up. And, you know, maybe they're saving this for the second half. Maybe they've got something special. But I don't understand them coming out of their passing attack because the young man there is very capable. It's not that he's not capable. He's capable.
Have you seen Concord this year, Coach? Because they're vulnerable to the pass this year.
Yeah, I saw him at Pinkerton, and of course I don't know who is going to do anything to Pinkerton unless we can switch an NFL club in here, match them with size and power. But Concord, you know, Concord is no more vulnerable to a pass than anybody else. But the point is that you know, you've got to throw it. I mean, you got to throw it once in a while. We don't throw a lot now, understand?
Yep.
But we will throw. And I'm surprised Exeter went through that entire first half without one time putting one in the air. I have a feeling you're going to see him go up the stairs the second half.
Knowing Dick Eustace the way I do, he's going to go down fighting if he is in fact going to go down here. The scoreboard clock is out, Coach. That's kind of aggravating for everybody involved here. Yeah. I'm wondering if that has any kind of bearing on Exeter not passing down, at least when they had the ball with minutes to go, if they even knew how many minutes were.
The officials have to give them a 4-minute warning, and I clearly heard it myself sitting up here in the stands. So, you know, somewhere in there, maybe they were content with what it was they were doing and felt like it was going to be satisfactory. But, you know, Concord is a typical Concord team. It's extremely well coached, as all Jack's teams are. They execute well, and they're going to stay at you until they do what they want to do. And as long as it's a fairly close ball game, Concord is never going to have to come out of, you know, out of their attack. I mean, I go back a long ways to Jack. You know, when I was coaching in Dover, Jack was playing for Trinity. So, you know, he's a fine young man. He was a great athlete in his own right. And he has more than done a capable job as a football coach. And I'm sure everyone here in Concord is just delighted with him because not only is he a super Class A guy, but he's a first-rate football coach, too.
Well, his first 4 years, 2 state titles and a runner-up. The community's in love with Jack Gaddy. I mean, he's just done a super job, and you are right. Tell me about 2 other teams down your way that always concern us here in Concord. Spalding High, the defending champions in Class L, and Portsmouth High, who has just been a thorn in Jack Gaddy's side during his career.
Well, I've known Tom Dobney for many, many years as well, and Tom is another one of these fellows like Jack, or I should say perhaps Jack is like Tom, because Tom's been around a long time, but very diligent, very disciplined, excellent football coach, precise in all details, and that's why his teams are always so well coached, because of Tom Dobney and the kind of person he is. you look at Hugo Bolin, and year after year, you know that Hugo's teams are always up there with the very best. And the worst part of it is that we're stuck right between the two of them, and we always have to play them too. So, you know, they're two of the better coaches in the state. You can't deny that, and they always show it with their teams. There are no hit-or-miss ideas with them. They're just plain well-founded in their techniques, and their teams demonstrate that they come to play.
Well, Pinkerton did a number on the Red Raiders in a rematch of last year's semifinal, and I know that there's something to prove. You saw Pinkerton, or you heard about the 38-0.
Saw the game.
You saw the game, and you said that maybe if we brought an NFL team into the state, maybe someone could beat them. Are all the other teams playing for second place? Is there a team, or are there any teams that can catch them by the end of the year, Coach?
Well, there's nobody plays for second place that I know of, but what I'm saying is when you look at their personnel, and, you know, let's face it, it's just like I told our kids who play naturally. You know, you got to realize you're going up against what really is a college and a high school league with the numbers to choose from. Pinkerton is not a small school. It's got 2,500 students in it, and you take the rest of us who are right around that 1,000 mark, like we are at Dover, we got 1,050. You know, it automatically means that you're at a disadvantage in numbers, but I don't think anybody feels like they're playing for second. What happens is you're all playing, I guess, to get in the playoff system. I don't even know how it works right now. But we're just trying to, you know, take one game at a time. And, hey, if we meet Pinkerton, we're going to give the best we can to beat them, just like I know Concord will the next time they face them or whoever. You know, first things first, and that's each opponent. And then we get down to the end of the season, find out who's in the playoffs. And then from there on in, maybe things have a different way about them when it comes to title time.
Well, the last regular season here, the Crimson Tide will be down at your place, and you know exactly what's going to be happening, and I think Concord High's in for a real fight that night.
Well, let me say this. I have a lot of respect for Concord, and I certainly hope they are in for a fight for it, because we want to give them, we want to give them the best ball game we can, because we know, without any question, they're certainly going to be down to give us one. So it's going to be something to look forward to.
Well, Coach Bill Bush and the Bilbo, we thank you so much for sharing your halftime with us, and I know you think we're gracious hosts and everything. I have my green hat with a D on it, but really it stands for Dartmouth, Coach. I want you to know that. We are good hosts.
You can lie over the radio. It's all right. I know that's a Dover hat, and we're very pleased that you wear that.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you. Thanks so much. All right. Bill Bushin of Dover High. The teams have returned to the field. Concord High with a 14-0 lead. And we will be back with the second half kickoff right after this. Stay with us.
Here's an offer that you can refuse. It's an offer to have your home, auto, or business insurance reviewed by the friendly professionals at the Allied Insurance Agency. How much will this complete insurance review cost you? Not 1 red cent. That's right, the Allied Insurance Agency will provide a professional analysis of your present insurance at absolutely no obligation. Incidentally, when was the last time you checked your insurance coverage on your home, automobiles, or business? Conditions change, you know. The number of drivers in the family may have changed. Your insurance coverage written last year is not necessarily the best insurance today. Allied represents many solid New Hampshire insurance companies, and the Allied Agency will review your insurance coverage free of charge. Give them a call today at 224-5394. That's 224-5394. Or stop into their office at 500 South Street on the Bowtown line. Find out for yourself why at the Allied Insurance Agency, your protection is their profession.
The second half kickoff, Exeter kicking to Concord here from left to right across your radio dial. The Crimson Tide on top, 14-0 here on a beautiful Friday night. And you look over there over the parking lot, Harvey, and there comes the moon that was full on Monday, and it's a harvest moon now, just a little bit past full. And,
it's beautiful.
What a great night for football.
Over the top of the pines across the street, a very low moon right now, and is that a treat, huh?
My nose is frozen.
All right, first down for the Crimson Tide from the 35-yard line. First play from scrimmage here in period number 3. Stay with us now and see if the Tide can put together one of those long, sustained marches. First man through Mayo, 2 yards, right side. As Concord leads this thing 14-0 here, and 2 touchdowns late in the second period. The difference in this game, a tough, tenacious effort by Exeter in that first half against Concord High School's high-powered offense. Second down for the Crimson Tide, 9 yards. The ball is at their 37-yard line. McGonigal, the junior quarterback, brings the Crimson to that 37. Full house backfield behind him.
The snap, the give, first man through. McGonigal keeps it around the right side and over. Exeter's ready for him. Good faking by Ryan, but 3 linebackers didn't buy it, and they catch him right at the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely. They had that one sniffed out.
What do you think about Bill Busham's-Dover, his analysis that Exeter will probably come out and throw the football quite a bit in the second half?
Well, I was surprised neither team has put the ball in the air tonight. McGonigal has tried 3 times, but has not been able to launch it. He's been sacked 3 times in the ball game.
Passing situation right here, Bruce.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 8 for Concord High. He's fake. Now McGonigal's back. He sprints to the right side. He puts it in the air. He has a man sliding, and it's a completion out near the 50. Blake Savoy. No, it's not. It's Donnie Ross. It's 38, not 88, and Ross sliding on his backside, catches the football on the ground. What a nice reception.
The ball out to the 49ers, to you.
That is his 2nd pass reception of the year for Don Ross, a 5'9", 172-pound senior.
Pick up of 12 yards on the play and a first down.
And Blanche Ross, I hope you're listening. Donnie looks good right now. Stay with us. Blanche is Donnie's grandmother who follows us week in and week out. First man through is Stafford. He gets the ball, cracks across the 50 and into Exeter territory.
So they are on the plus now. Pickup of 2 yards on the play. It's a 2nd down and 8 from the Exeter. Exeter 49. You have me going now. All of a sudden I want to say, no, not Exeter, Dover. Who are we playing tonight anyway?
All right. 2nd down for the Crimson Tide. Full house backfield, that tight T formation. 2nd man through gets the call, and it's Mayo. He's going up tackle to the 40, 35, down to the 30. He almost breaks it, and he gets hauled down at the 28-yard line. Boy, Mayo just out-quicked him once he got through that line.
Boy, didn't he?
And they bring it back to the 35.
Nice pickup on the play. The 8th first down of the ball game for Concord. And they are down to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 19 yards on the play, Harvey. 1st and 10 for Concord on Mayo.
Well, the Crimson Tide getting that high-powered offense in gear. They were shut out last week, and Jack Gaddy coached teams over his first 14 years have been shut out only on 4 other occasions in 14 years.
I knew by this week you would have that information for us. We were wondering about it last week.
First man through, Mayo gets the call again, and he's down across the 35. Down to the 25, but down near the 23-yard line as Concord inches closer and looking for a 3rd touchdown here.
Well, with Concord's offense over the first 2 games of this season, neither of us thought to look at shutout potential and the stats on that, because nobody, I think, expected Concord to be shut down the way they were by the Pinkerton Astros. I don't think too many people are surprised that they lost to Pinkerton, but I think 38-0 raised a few eyebrows, made people go, around the state.
That's for sure. That's one of those games go, Timeout by the Crimson Tide, who seem a little disorganized as they sent 4 new kids in and brought 4 guys off, obviously. And that'll give us a chance to send it back for 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Concord still leading 14-0.
At Horizon Bank, we're proud to serve you, our neighbors and friends, because working together, we've made this community strong. Please visit us often and let us know how we're doing at Horizon Bank. We care about making our services as complete and convenient as possible. Through continued teamwork, we'll ensure your success and the success of the entire community. Now, that's financial muscle. Together, we're strong. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
Concord has had 2 scoring drives in the game. The first one, a masterpiece of 89 yards, 13 plays. Andy Milliken, a 4-yard touchdown run. Garrett Stum, the point after touchdown, 7-0 Concord. Their next drive lasted only 4 plays, but they only had to go 42 yards for that, and a 1-yard touchdown run by Andy Milliken. Right now, Harvey, they are up. This will be the 7th play of this drive as they have driven from their own 36-yard line down to the Exeter 22. They have a 2nd down and 2 yards to go.
They flank Ross 20 yards out on the left, and now he heads back into the huddle. He says something to the end. That's Blake Savoy, and then he moves 20 yards out on the left side again. Backs a split behind McGonigal. Ross looks like he's going to get a pass, but it's a pitch to Stafford. He turns that right side, left side across the 20, the 15, down to the 10. Hauled out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. For a fleeting moment, I thought Stafford was going to sneak one in there.
Boy, Stafford can really motor down that field. He really has some speed with him.
5'8" junior is very, very quick, has one touchdown. He's carried the football 23 times for 187 yards and an 8.1 per average every time he carries.
First and goal for Concord. They are at the Exeter 9-yard line.
All right, tight T formation now as Concord tries to punch this in from the 9-yard line. The snap, the give, it is Ross. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, falls ahead for a couple of yards. He was trying to get his momentum. He tripped over one of his own halfbacks blocking for him.
Well, he's still going to pick up just about a half a yard on the play.
They're down and goal to go from the 9.5. Well, we see McGonigal put it in the air on a rollout here. His one touchdown pass this year came against Girton in this situation from the 9-yard line. Let's see what they do. T formation, third down from the 9.5. McGonigal rolls to his right. He puts it in the air, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Gott, on that side. Rob Sawyer, the 6'6" end. And in defense of Rob, just as he fielded the ball, he got cracked from behind and thrown down to the ground real hard.
Okay, it looks like the field goal unit coming on here as Concord tries to lengthen his lead by another 3 points.
Garrett Stum is 1 for 1 in field goals from 24 yards away.
Bad average.
Not bad at all. He's 9 of 11 in PATs. So let's see where Mayo, the holder, sets up. Rossage goes in for Forrestal to snap the football. Ball is back at the
18,
a 28-yard attempt. Make it a 27-yard attempt. Good little snap. Mayo does a great job to get it down. Stum puts it in the air, and it's good. And give Mike Mayo a lot of credit for fielding the ball off the slick grass, setting it up. And Stum put it in from 27 yards away. Concord leads it now, 17-0. We'll be right back.
With the basketball season coming, it's time for teams to be ordering uniforms and supplies. The best way to do that is by calling Jim Burney at Burney Sports in Concord. At Burney Sports, you'll select from the latest in uniforms, sports clothing, and equipment, and they specialize in team jackets with a great choice of sizes and styles. Best of all, you won't have to travel all over the state because Jim comes to your home or office. If you're a basketball team this winter, call Burney Sports now at 224-2131, 224-2131.
Well, Concord drove from their own 36-yard line down to the 9, but they stalled there and had to settle for a field goal. Harvey?
Gordon from his 15 drops the ball, picks it up at the 20, rushes up to the 30, cracks ahead to the 35, and rides ahead to about the 39-yard line. Again, Borden fielded the kickoff not cleanly, dropping the football again, but it threw the Concord rushers off a little bit, and he made some yardage out of it out near the 40-yard line.
Scoring drive, 63 yards in 10 plays. Finished off by a Garrett Stum 27-yard field goal, 17-0, about midway through the third quarter here. Again, no scoreboard clock tonight, so we can't give you the...
All right, they're going to put it in the air for the first time. It is a screen pass. It is complete to the 40, down to the 50-yard line, into Concord high territory. Goes Gene Peichel, the fullback, off the screen pass from Levesque, the quarterback. Nice play that developed out of Exeter right then. Levesque faded back, drew all the Concord linemen with him, and then dumped it beautifully 10 yards down to Gene Peichel, who rushed up across the 50 for a first down.
Actually, they're going to give him considerably more as he picked up 16 yards on the play, Harvey.
Oh, you heard Bill Bushing-Azova say Exeter was going to throw a little bit more. This time Borden gets the call. The fullback turns the corner left side down to the 40, inside to the 38. He's thrown down by Ryan McGonigal. And Andy Milligan defensively for the Crimson Tide. Second down for Exeter now, and 2 plays. They're inside corner.
Down to the 39, pickup of 6 yards on the play.
Concord High marching band with a little rock and roll variety down there. We will rock you. All right, fullback Borden has the ball up the middle. Concord can't find him, and he's down to the 33-yard line. First down again for Exeter.
That's another first down for the Blue Hawks, and that is their 7th of the ball game. Concord has 9 tonight. First and 10, and they mark the ball inside the 35-yard line at the 33 of the Crimson Tide. Pick up 7 yards on the play. Needed 4, he got 7.
All right, first down for Exeter. Levesque doing a nice job. A backup roll at quarterback. He gives it to Borden. Borden heads to the right side, across the 30, inside to about the 29-yard line. I'll tell you, this kid, Brendan Levesque, 5'11", junior, real quick, very talented athlete. You can see he's athletic, and I think he's got a nice feel for that quarterback position. Very heavy player.
This is the backup. This is incredible because he really has put on a fine performance here. He trails 17-0, but it's not his fault.
Their starting quarterback, Mike Olson, very talented. Could have been in the Shrine game. Had a knee injury. Heichel, the fullback, gets it left side as he tries to turn the corner. He's got to get to the 30. He's got to get to the 25. Nowhere near a first down. He was just fighting to get across the original line of scrimmage down there.
And they're going to mark the ball not very kindly. Well, now they move it up about a half a foot or so. It's just outside the 30. We're going to call it the 31-yard line. So it's actually a loss of 1 on the play. It brings up a 3rd down and 8, Harvey.
Well, let's see if Levesque puts it in the air now. I believe he's 1 for 1 tonight. A screen pass for a first down moments ago. In motion goes Levine. Back to pass is Levesque. He puts it in the air. He has a man open, and then he's hit hard before he could field the ball. Rinder had it in his numbers, and coming up to make the hit was Matty Ekstrom. Rinder was up in the air to catch the pass, and as soon as he touched the ball, Matty Ekahai hit him right in the midsection and just drove him to the ground. Oh, I could feel it up here.
Another Exeter player folded up like the jackknife I described to you in the first half, as he was just nailed by Matt Ekstrom. Ball at the 31-yard line. It brings up a 4th down and 8, and
the defensive secondary will be tested here again, I'm sure, as look for Levesque to put it in the air again. The ball is at Concord High's 30-yard line. High formation. Borden in the right side. Is he going downfield? And now Rinder heads downfield to the right side. They have 3 guys out for a pass. Levesque sprints right, puts it in the air. He has a man wide open. Inside the 20, down to the 15, down to the 12, and out of bounds goes Tim Rinder. A beautiful sprint-out pass by Levesque to Tim Rinder, who had gone in motion in the backfield, sprinted down that right sideline, and was wide open. No Concord High defenders around him.
Absolutely, and the ball inside the 15-yard line, down to the 13. Nice little pickup on the play of 30 yards.
And Skid Levesque throws a nice pass.
I'm sorry, 17 yards on the play.
All right, Concord High tested right now. Borden turns that left side, turns up inside, and Mayo has him before he can make any yardage. Mike Mayo came right up cornerback position and put a hit on the fullback, Borden, before he could turn the corner. The play looked like it could have developed for big yardage. Give Mike a lot of credit for the tackle right there.
Well, they mark it back outside the 15 at the 16-yard line. Pick a loss of 3, rather, so it's a 2nd down and 13.
Concord leading 17-0 if you're just joining us on the radio here tonight. 2 Milligan touchdowns and a Garrett Stum field goal. High formation for the Hawks. 2nd down and 12. In motion goes Rinder. Levesque sprints to the right. He puts it in the air, and it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Derek Levine, at the goal line. A well-thrown ball. There's a flag down at the original line of scrimmage. And again, when Levine went up in the air, as he came down, he was hit by Ryan McGonigal out there. And didn't we see Ryan make a couple of knockdowns at the goal line last week against Pinkerton?
I had a quarter. I bet this is holding, and it is against Concord.
Yeah.
But the flag is in the Exeter backfield. Now, that's interesting. I wouldn't have bet the quarter against Concord on that one, but...
Top up the quarter, Brucey, buddy.
Well, I don't have it on me, Harvey. I'll catch you tomorrow, okay? That was half right. Maybe I ought to give you 12 and a half cents. Huh?
We will be back here tomorrow, by the way, everybody. Brady and Monadnock here at Memorial Field. Brady looking for that first win, still playing their Class I schedule and trying to toughen up when they play the M&S schedule down the stretch. They need at least 2 victories to get into the playoffs. And there's the penalty. It's going to move the ball inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line.
So it remains 2nd down.
And would you say about 4 for the first down?
I would say that.
A long 4. It's 2nd and 4 for the Blue Hawks. They're inside Concord High's 10-yard line. In motion goes Rinder. Levesque gives it to the fullback, Borden up the middle. He fights for a couple of yards. They come tough, those yards down inside there. Concord High defense didn't go for the run option fake out of Levesque. He passed, and they went to the run, and Concord High stayed right with it and put a nice hit in Borden at the 6. 3rd down and 3 now.
Pickup of a yard on the play.
3rd and 3. They need 3 yards for a first down. They need 6 yards for a touchdown. They got to get to the 3. Levine gets the call, and he's tackled in the backfield by Blake Savoy, who's become a terror on defense. Just a sophomore, and he's quite a defensive player.
Just one of the kids here at the Terror Dome tonight. A big sign in the north end zone. Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Oh, my. It's in orange, though. I thought Syracuse was here. Why isn't that in crimson?
Probably didn't have that much paint at the high school. That's a good-sized sign.
That's a great sign down there.
So the ball back out of the 10-yard line. Lots of 4 on the play. It brings up a 4th down and 7. And will Exeter try to get on the board with a field goal?
I think they're going to go for it here. No, they're lining up field goal. You're right. Mike Daniels, a sophomore quarterback, is going to hold at about a 17. They try a 27-yarder. It's into the air. It's got the distance, and it is good. And Exeter gets on the board. And guess who kicked the field goal? The quarterback, Brendan Levesque, to get Exeter on the board. It's 17-3 now in favor of Concord. We'll come back and see if Concord can get a 4th touchdown. Stay with us.
S&W Sports Shop is having a clearance sale on stock of fishing equipment at 40% off the regular price. That's right, you save 40% off everything in the fishing department at S&W Sports Shop. Quality brand names like Mitchell, Berkeley, Shakespeare, and Shimano. Fishing reels, rods, and poles. Tackle boxes, lines, and lures. Everything at 40% off during the S&W Sports Shop's fishing equipment clearance sale. The new 1992 Alpine and cross-country ski merchandise is arriving daily, and room must be made for fall and winter ski products. Come next spring, all new fishing equipment will be available to hook you into the 1992 fishing season. There's still plenty of good fall fishing left, and there's still plenty of quality fishing equipment for you to catch this fall at the S&W Sports Shop at their 40% off sale now in progress. S&W Sports Shop at 238 South Main Street, Concord. Open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6, Friday evenings till 8, and Saturday you can take advantage of the 40% off fishing sale to 3 p.m.
Well, Concord jumped out to a 14-0 lead over the Exeter Blue Hawks in the second quarter, actually. By halftime, it was 14-0. Here in the second half, Harvey, Concord drove 63 yards in 10 plays for a 27-yard field goal. Exeter came right back on the next possession, drove 61 yards in 11 plays and a 27-yard field goal. So they're 3-3 in the second half, but 17-3 rather. Concord has the lead by 2 touchdowns over the Exeter Blue Hawks. The kickoff went out of bounds, so again the kick will come from the Exeter 35-yard line as the Blue Hawks go to kick off from left to right across the radio dial here to the Crimson Tide. We're in the third quarter. We don't know how much time left. The scoreboard is dark.
All right, Derek Levine is going to kick off as a squiggler along the ground. Fielded nicely by Ross at the 30, up to the 35, the 45, out the midfield. Donnie Ross just picked that ball off the grass like a shortstop, fielded it cleanly, and headed right up the field before Exeter could close in on him, right up the middle of the field. Nice advance.
20-yard return on that one by Ross, and the ball is out to the 48-yard line, their own 48. Concord has fine field position here to take over in the third quarter.
All right, the Crimson Tide will be at the 47-yard line. They lead it 17-3. If you're just joining us on the radio, T formation for the Crimson Tide. McGonigal, the junior quarterback. Going to put it in the air. He dances back to the 45, decides to keep it, and he can't get around the left side, and he's thrown out of bounds. Again, Ryan McGonigal, on that split decision whether to pass or run, is opting to hang on to the football. He's not seeing many open teammates downfield, Bruce.
I wonder if it's all that or whether it is that he snake bit from last week where he had, 5 or 6 passes picked off. I don't know.
He had quite a message from his brother who goes to college in South Carolina. I'll relay the message in a minute here. Second down for the Tide and 10. First man threw his mail, the trap, and it doesn't go. He doesn't get to the 50. Concord High has to not only get over the 50, get over Exeter's 45. Scott McGonigal, who quarterbacked Concord High to a championship 2 years ago here, heard about his brother's 3 interceptions and told his brother he better get with it because he, Scott, only had 1 interception in his whole career. And Ryan's answer to that is that his whole career was 1 season. Ryan's been quarterbacking since his sophomore year.
Okay, there's the end of the third quarter. It is 17-3 with Concord High on top, and we will be back with fourth quarter action after the 60-second timeout.
You know, high school sports are a source of great interest and pride, not only for the schools involved, but the communities they represent. High school sports help bring a community together, providing a common focus to care about and to cheer for. Now, because of this important role in the lives of our communities, high schools are about a lot more than winning and losing. They're about working together and growing together. And that's why high school sports are such a tradition in the Capital Region. And the Capital City law firm of Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Oyer, on behalf of its clients and friends, is pleased to be a part of this tradition by helping to bring these broadcasts to our community. And even more pleased to be part of a community that cares so much for its young people.
Concord High, third down, 8 yards, second man through. Milligan gets the call, and they go across the 50. We're going to bring up a fourth down play here to start the fourth period. Concord's going to need 4 yards for the first down. Will Jack Gaddy let the kids go for it, or will he punt it? He has a 17-3 lead here with 1 period to play.
Noisy place, Harvey.
It is. You got 2 bands going at it, the school band and a rock band from the student body, all wired up with electrical guitars and stuff as they play Wild Thing over to our right. It's a fake by Concord. They're not going to punt. They try to dry Exeter offside, and now going back is Donnie Ross. Straight guy. He's going to punt first time since the Curtin game, and he shanks it to the right. A very poor punt. It hits at the 37, rolls back to the 35 because you know John Hardiman mowed the lawn so that the football bounces in Concord's favor. I'm telling you, no team wants to play Concord in a championship game on this field this year. The lawn is mowed for the football to bounce in their favor. Exeter takes over the football. Now, Bruce, in the third period, Exeter was able to move the ball pretty well.
Yeah, they sure were. They had 1 possession in the third period, 11 plays, and they ate up some clock there, as did Concord with a 10-play drive. It ended in 27-yard field goals on both sides. Guess what? 36-yard line, they take over again.
All right, 36 seems to be the magic number.
Sure
Borden
does.
gets the call, and Andy Milligan says, no way. As Andy says, excuse my Borden house reach, and puts a hit on Eric Borden of Exeter right at the 35-yard line.
This, Harvey, is the 4th time taken over at the 36-yard line tonight. Twice each team took over at the 37-yard line, so this is strange. Nearly a full moon overhead, and that could explain some of it. 2nd and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
Brendan Levesque, junior quarterback. Fades back to pass. He's way back. That screen pass again. It's good to Michael, the fullback. He's got all kinds of blockers as he comes out to the 50-yard line. Nice screen pass, and that has gone twice here for Exeter. Levesque sets that up beautifully. He looks like a riverboat gambler going back, taking to everybody on his way back. Then he takes the ball off his hip and fires it down, and the fullback, Michael, does a nice job also after.
Pick up a 13 yards on the play.
So the Exeter offense looking sharp here tonight. Dick Eustace following in the footsteps of his famous dad at Exeter, a long historic career at Exeter, both the Eustace boys. Levesque, it's a reverse. Borden has it left side to the 50, to the 45, out of bounds at the Concord High 38-yard line. And Eric Borden says nobody on Concord with a Borden house reach is going to get me this time as he steps out of bounds at the 38.
Another first down for the Blue Hawks. 10th of the ball game now, and 3 of them on the 5 in the first half, 5 in the second half, and 3 through the air and 2 on the ground here after intermission.
All right, full house backfield for the Blue Hawks from Concord High's 40-yard line. We're in the final period. Straight give. The fullback Michael right up the middle, and it looks like Concord High's trap play coming right back at him and crossing the 30. Gene Peichel, 5'8" junior fullback. I'll tell you, Borden and Peichel and Levesque, all talented juniors, will be back next year, and they are going to be a backfield to be reckoned with, Bruce. They're talented.
And they have just made that a first down down to the 29-yard line of Concord, and that is back-to-back first downs, this time for the Blue Hawks. We saw Concord do it on a scoring drive earlier in the game.
So Gene Peichel puts Concord in a pickle that time. Right to give this time to Levine, right side, and as he gets 2 yards, doesn't Timmy Thompson and Tom Marshall, also aiding Tim, put a hit on the carrier right there, and Marshall got the best piece of him. What a hit.
Levine got clocked right there. Down to the 27-yard line, so he did pick up a pair of yards, second down and 8. But Levine had a full head of steam, and so under defense, and they collided at the 27.
In motion goes Levine. Michael gets the call, the fullback right up over his center, straight ahead block down close to that Crimson Tide 25-yard line. And the Crimson Tide are going to see Exeter take a timeout with a big fourth down play coming here. We'll be right back to see if Exeter can punch it in and make a ball game out of this. Stay with us.
Okay, well, we will take that break after a little bit here, Harvey. We'll keep it here now because time is of the essence. As of this moment, the ball right now at the 26-yard line, where it will be a 3rd down and 7. And we'll see how the Blue Hawks decide to go with it now. This is a busy night of high school football around the state, Harvey. 6 games in all, including the Exeter Concord game, obviously. Londonderry Game tonight, Central at Memorial. The key game tonight, I would say, is Portsmouth at Spalding. Kennett at Laconia in Class I. Lebanon at Stevens, also in Class I tonight. It's another busy day tomorrow as well with, among other games, the Brady-Monadnock game right here at Memorial Field. We'll have that for you tomorrow afternoon at 1:10. Dover plays at Winnicott, Merrimack at Milford, Nashua is at West, Trinity at Keene, Pinkerton plays at Salem, Kingswood at Plymouth, Somersworth at Timberlane, Fall Mountain at Hanover, Cathedral Mass at Franklin, and St. Thomas at Newport. Your high school football here on the 4th week for most teams, 5th week for several teams, including the Monadnock Huskies, who will be here.
From the 26-yard line, Exeter with a 3rd down play. Levesque fades back after 2 fakes, puts it in the air. He has a man open at the goal line. He's shoved and out of bounds. And I'll tell you down, but I really thought that the intended receiver down there was pushed before the ball got to him. That was Derek Levine, and I really thought that was pass interference. It was not called.
I did as well. Boy, I thought that was going to be a yellow hanky right there. But
the only thing I could think of is that he was out of bounds to begin with.
Might have been.
Which would make the whole incident contact incidental. And so timeout by Exeter again. And again, we'll keep it right here because this is the essence of the ball game. Exeter has a 4th down play and has to really get a 1st down to keep the drive alive and to give them a chance to get back in this football game. They've got to score on this drive to make a game out of it, Bruce. And, so Dick Eustace has taken a 2nd timeout here in the last minute of play. That's how critical this drive is.
4th down and 7 yards to go from the 26-yard line. Before we forget and let it slip away from us, thanks to Concord South Main Street McDonald's Restaurant for providing a meal for Harvey and me prior to tonight's football game. McDonald's is pleased to be supporting high school sports on WKXL again this year. Stop by the South Main Street McDonald's soon and try the new 99-cent fajitas. It's part of the new expanded menu, which, by the way, will expand within the next week or so to include soups, including clam chowder. I cannot wait. McDonald's is your spot.
All right.
What a fun, yeah. The equipment's there. All we're waiting for is the stuff to come in and put in the pots.
All right, the big 4th down play for Exeter about to unfold. They need 7 yards for a 1st down. They've got to get down to Concord High School's 18-yard line for a 1st down. And back to pass is Levesque. He sprints to the right side, puts it in the air, and it falls to the ground, and then a flag goes down late. And I'm wondering if they didn't pile into Levesque, the quarterback, after he released the ball. The flag went down well after he released the ball in that backfield. It did not go down near the intended receiver. The ball just fell onto the green earth.
Okay, what they're going to call, though, is holding against Exeter, and Concord's going to refuse this one on a 4th down.
That was a late call. I mean, the hold had to certainly have come before he released the football.
Penalty declined, so the Crimson Tide take over on downs, and they've dodged the bullet on this one. Exeter playing much better. They didn't play badly in the 1st half, Harvey.
Bruce Lavoie, I would like to introduce you to Alfred Halden, Blanche Ross, Gladys Hart, and Ruth Ann. Do you know?
Hi, guys.
They listen to us every week. Ruth Ann is volunteering at the helpline tonight. She'd like to be here.
Oh.
And it was she told me that if Concord High got in trouble like last week, they'd have Coach Gaddy give her a call at helpline tonight. I don't think so. It's playing much better tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
First Crimson Tide since taken over. They go right up the middle with Milligan, and he gets close to that 30-yard line. So it's nice to know that the coach has a resource to call on at halftime. So Alfred, Blanche, Gladys, and Ruth Ann, stay with us. Next week, we're going to go to Portsmouth for you people who can't get out to see these high school games at night, and under the lights at Portsmouth, and we'll be there for you.
I was going to say, our first trip to see the new lighting system. I've seen it in the daylight.
All right, Concord High, 2nd down and 8. They're on their 29-yard line. They would like to run this thing out for the remainder of the night. Ekstrom gets the call, right side. Gets 3 or 4 more yards, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 3 for a first down for Concord.
And they're going to bike the ball out to the 33-yard line. As Harvey said, a pickup of 4 yards on the play. 3rd down and 3.
Concord High offensively really alternating a lot of kids in that backfield. Stafford and Mayo and Donnie Ross, Milligan and Ekstrom, all in and out on even number of times here, and it's wearing Exeter down for sure. 3rd down and 3 for the Crimson Tide. The ball just over their 30. Straight pitch to Shane Stafford. Left side, turns the corner, cuts upfield. First down and more to the 40, to the 50. And inside Exeter territory where he's hauled down near the 44-yard line of the Blue Hawks.
Tell you what, Harvey, Stafford is building up some stats tonight as he has broken a few long ones for the Crimson Tide.
He was averaging 8 yards a carry coming into the game off 23 carries over the first 3 games.
He's done that and more here tonight. Gets down to the 46-yard line.
And our hearts really go out to Jamie Welsh tonight, another ball carrier and a starting cornerback for Concord High. The game against Pinkerton defensively last week, out with a knee injury.
21-yard pickup for Stafford on that last play.
All right, this time Don Ross gets the call down to the 40-yard line. And he's looking quicker and quicker off the mark now as the game unfolds here. Ross is a 5'9" senior. He had 18 carries coming into this game, and I'll bet you he's had 7 or 8 already tonight.
Pick up a 5, 2nd down and 5. It'll be a long 5, though.
Mayo heads out to the huddle. He'll take over that fullback spot to Stafford, who comes to the sideline.
Coming up the 6th play of this drive already, Harvey. They're doing just what they want to do, which is ball control.
All right, from the 40-yard line, the Crimson Tide, 2nd and 6. First man through gets the call. That is Mayo. We will go out to Milwaukee for the Red Sox right after this. If you've tuned in 1450 radio and you're looking for the Red Sox, they're over on the FM side, 102.3 FM. And as much as we'd like you to stay with us for high school football, we know you loyal Red Sox fans still believe the Sox can do it. Just turn your dial over to the FM 102.3 and you can pick up the Red Sox in progress right now.
I was on the board when Evans was walked last night. My heart just went to my feet. Oh.
Boy, talk about that.
Oh.
All right, the Tide, 3rd down. McGonigal keeps it, goes off tackle on a quarterback keeper, and he rumbles across for 3 yards, and it's going to bring up another 4th down play. They're about 1.5 yards away from a first down to keep this drive alive, and Jack Addy would like to run out the clock here. Concord leading at 17-3. We have seen 2 27-yard field goals, one by Garrett Stump of Concord High and the other by the quarterback,
Brendan Levesque,
for Exeter. Get a lot of field goals this year in high school play.
Yep.
4th down for the Crimson Tide. The pitch. Mayo, right side, cuts off tackle. First down and more as he falls down to almost the 30-yard line. And Mike Mayo's having a nice game. The rugged 5'6" senior fullback lumbers ahead for 7 yards on a first down. Ball with the...
And the 6-yard pickup by Mayo is another first down for the Crimson Tide, and that is their 11th first down of the ball game. I'm sorry, 12th first down.
Well, the Crimson Tide from their 31-yard line, leading 17-3, looking for their 3rd victory of the year. Keep it on the ground. Milligan, left side, turns ahead, picks up 3, and dives ahead for 4 before he stopped at the Exeter 27-yard line.
And that was play number 9 of this drive. Mark it at the 28, Harvey. A pickup of 4. A pickup of 3, rather.
Next week, Concord at Portsmouth. Friday night, we'll be there. The referees are taking a timeout right here, and they are now alerting the benches there are 4 minutes left in this football game as the referees make a very emphatic motion to both benches here.
Again, the scoreboard clock, a brand new $7,000 piece of equipment sitting idle in the north end zone. They had some sort of a problem with it during the Brady game a week ago, and it has not been fixed. They've been working with the folks in Atlanta who built the thing and just can't get the snafu out of it.
All right, the Crimson Tide keep it on the ground. Donnie Ross gets the call, keeps his feet ahead across the 25, down to the 24, the 23, the 20. Ross won't come down easy. Looking tough out there tonight for the Crimson Tide.
Again, close to a first down, a little bit shy, about a yard shy or so, as they mark the ball right at the 22-yard line. He needs one, so it's a third down and 1 yard to go. Pickup of 6 yards for Ross, and boy, he was sandwiched in there and nailed hard on that. I was a little bit surprised to see him get up as easily as he did.
All right. McGonigal takes a snap, gives it to Ross again. No, he keeps the ball around the right side. One man to beat at the 10, but no room, and he gets run out of bounds at about the 7. And then the flag goes down late, and I wonder if that wasn't face mask or piling on, because Ryan McGonigal is getting up gingerly, and we'll see what the flag is. It came after. It is a clip against the Tide, and it's going to bring it back, and Ryan was shaken up on the play.
You know, to Ryan's credit, he headed down the sidelines. He could have ducked out of bounds and avoided the hit altogether, but he kept his head about him, stayed inbounds to keep that clock running. As it turned out, that went south when the penalty was called, but nonetheless, good heads-up play by the junior quarterback who has really come out as a leader this year for the Crimson Tide.
And it's that kind of toughness that really transcends to the other kids, Bruce. Good observation on your part.
Absolutely. Third down and 1 was where the play started at the 22-yard line. After the holding play, we're going to see what happens here, and they are telling Concord, no, you can't have the ball again back here at the 21.
They got to hold up because now they're going to bring the change out to put the ball exactly where, from the line of scrimmage, they got to mark off this penalty here.
Right.
First down.
17-3 with Concord on top here with under 4 minutes to play in the game.
Great fake by McGonigal to Ross. Ross had, the previous play, had run up the middle for about 7 or 8 yards. They put it right in his stomach again, but then Ryan pulled it out, kept it on his right side, and ran down that sideline to about the 6-yard line, but the clipping penalty brings it back to the 20.
Yeah, brought it back to the 20, but then Concord picked up the first from where the penalty was marked off. It was still enough for the first down from the third down play. So rather interesting call there, but the bottom line is that Concord retains possession. They have the ball right at the 20-yard line with the 1st and 10 from the 20, and net gain on that, even though they had the ball down at the 5-yard line on McGonigal's carry, is that they actually picked up 2 yards on the play.
That's
1st and 10 for the 20.
Big game on the coast tonight. Portsmouth at 2-1, at Spalding at 2-1, and our man Gardner Hill will be tracking that down for you, I'm sure. Londonderry looking for its first win of the year. When did Londonderry ever get off to an 0-3 start? The answer to that is never. Something's got to give tonight at Holman Stadium. Londonderry 0-3, Girton 0-3. Central at Memorial tonight. Memorial could go up 3-1 the first time in 19 years that would ever have happened to a Central West or a Memorial team.
That's right. Now, Manchester Central have some pretty good stuff this year, and here they come into the 4th weekend of the season at 0-3.
Tomorrow, I think Pinkerton will win its 4th at Salem. Dover will win its 4th at Winnacunnet. Merrimack will win its 4th at Milford. All 3 of those will stay undefeated. Trinity will have a tough one at Keene, but pull it out. And Nashua at West, that's a pick 'em too. That's a tough call right there. Let's go with the T formation. First 20 for the Tide. They need 20 yards for a thun here. Ross gets the call, and he is upended right at the 19-yard line before he even can get going. If it's gotten quieter here on our broadcast, the Concord High band is out of the student section and down on the track, ready to march out of here. Concord would like to march out of here with its 3rd victory of the season, and they've been quite a force at home, I guess.
Oh, they sure have. Of course, when you play 3 out of 4 home games and the only road game is at Pinkerton.
That would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They'll be tested at Portsmouth next week,
They
I'll
will
tell you
be.
that. McGonigal keeps left side. He has Marshall in front of him to block. Marshall takes out 2 guys, but he can't take out the other 2 are right there. They pile up Ryan pretty well right there about the 16-yard line.
Interestingly enough, Concord came into the game tied at 8th place with Portsmouth and Spalding, all 2-1. Their only loss of the year was Pinkerton. Concord tonight. Concord travels to Portsmouth next week. They host Spalding the week after that. I mean, those 3 teams are really definitely intertwined here.
Remember this, too, Bruce.
Right now.
Last year, 18 teams I think I was the first year for that. Remember this. Just remember this. 7 of the teams finished the season at 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. 7-1, and they're all tied for first going into the playoffs. McGonagall's going to put it in the air. He has a man open, and he misses at Milligan, and it goes into the hands of Levesque, the safety down there. Milligan had it right in his hands and just coughed it up. He wasn't hit or anything. It just slipped out of his hands up into the air. Levesque, the safety, picked it off for an interception and runs it back out over the 25. And that scoring drive by Concord will go by the boards.
Well, there is another...
Can't fault Ryan McGonigal right there. Milligan had it in his hand.
No, but that is still there. That's an interception.
His fourth of the year.
Yep.
And that Levesque is quite an all-around performer. The quarterback, interception, has kicked a field goal here tonight, has completed a couple of passes, has run for 2 first downs. Quite a performer. Brendan Levesque at quarterback right now. Fades back to about his 10-yard line. He's got a screen pass. He loops it out here. He's got Borden circling out of the backfield of the 20 to the 25, and then he's wrapped up at about the 30-yard line. Good hit down there. That looked like it was Timmy Thompson. Tim Thompson has really become a force defensively for the Crimson Tide. He has caused 4 fumbles this year, has had 11 tackles coming into tonight's game, and he's had several here tonight.
Tell you what, Harvey, that was a long pass for picking up only 3 yards.
He faded back so far, you're right. I mean, he faded back 20 yards. In motion goes Rinder to the right side. Levesque, the quarterback, sprints to the right side, puts it in the air. It's a long one. It's going to be intercepted, yes. Ross gets it at about the 45 and heads down inside the 40, and Don Ross comes up with a pass interception. His first of the year, and Concord High of the year.
Well, they say turnabout is fair play, and Concord opening the second half had a field goal, only to have a 27-yard field goal kicked by Exeter on their next possession, and now they've traded interceptions.
He had some receivers up, but the pass was not well thrown. It just died into the Memorial Field night air here. Concord leading at 17-3 against Exeter, who has put up a terrific, tenacious fight against the Crimson Tide before a big home crowd here on North Fruit Street. Tomorrow, the Green Giants and Monadnock will kick it off at 1:30 right here at Memorial Field. We'll be on the air at about 1:10 with our coaching interviews. Stay with us for more football tomorrow.
Incidentally, one thing we might mention, Harvey, is the terrific condition this field is in with all the rain that we've had, some 5.5 inches here in the month.
That's going to do it, Bruce. The game ends, and you're right, the field is in great shape, and the Crimson Tide get back on the winning track here with a 17-3 victory. They head out, the whole team, to greet their offense out there, and then they stay out in the middle of the field, and they now greet the Exeter High Blue Hawk players as the coaching staff from the respective schools head out to the middle of that field to see. And I think we were entertained. An extremely well-played game here tonight at Memorial Field. Concord High winning it 17-7. 2 Andy Milligan short touchdowns and a Garrett Stum 27-yard field goal to 17 points for Concord. Brendan Levesque, a 27-yard field goal for Exeter. And I thought the Exeter kids came in here and put up a whale of a fight. And if you look at the history of these two schools, this is the 5th game. All have been tough, tenacious, hard-fought games, and Concord High may have controlled the football for long periods of time, but they did not put many points on the scoreboard here tonight, and you can credit Dick Houston and his fine staff for having the Exeter kids well prepared, and it really was an entertaining football game, well-played football game, and Concord moves up to 3-1 and a hunt for one of those top 4 tournament positions later in the year. They'll have to go on the road to Portsmouth next Friday night. That won't be an easy game for the Crimson Tide. We're going to put our post-game show together for you, maybe catch a player interview or two, and come back and wrap it up and then send you out to Red Sox baseball. Come back and join us for our post-game right after this.
The area's family footwear center, Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in downtown Concord, invites you to the locker room. It's the new locker room at Denroy Shoes, and it's chock full of great Nike footwear and Nike clothing. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nikes for men, for women, and for children. The locker room at Denroy Shoes has Nike gym and book bags, Nike hats, Nike t-shirts, Nike sweats, and cool, comfortable Nike nylon jackets and pants. You'll love the selection and you'll find the values outstanding. Of course, for athletic footwear, Denroy shoes just can't be beat for selection. Men and women can choose a Nike shoe for every athletic activity, from walking to cross-training, from tennis to basketball, from cleated to running, from force to the Nike Air. So when it comes to athletic footwear, you look to Nike. And when it comes to Nike, look to the locker room at Denroy Shoes, 76 North Main Street in the heart of downtown Concord.
At Gill Stadium tonight, late in the third quarter of play, the Manchester Memorial Crusaders lead the Central Little Green 28-7. Late in the third quarter. Memorial 28, Central 7. We'll get back to Harvey and Bruce right after this.
Friends, they're always there, ready to share your ups and downs, to help lighten life's loads, to talk with and trust. At Horizon Bank, we're your friends, and we care about you. That's why each time you stop in, you'll get a warm smile, friendly greeting, and prompt personal service, because that's what a friend deserves. Whatever your financial needs, see us at Horizon Bank today. While we can't take the place of your best friend, we're behind you all the way, ready to share the load. Together, we're strong. Horizon Bank and Trust, 197 Loudon Road, Concord, member FDIC.
Okay, we are back here at Memorial Field in Concord, and yours truly, Bruce LeBoy, and the Exeter Blue Hawks have fallen to the Concord High School Crimson Tide by a score of 17-3. Concord back on the winning track now is a 3-1 record. Exeter drops to 1-3 on the year. As far as the ball game goes, Concord High School took its second possession of the game, which actually came late in the first quarter, and drove 89 yards in 13 plays. A 4-yard touchdown run by Andy Milliken. Point after touchdown by Garrett Stum was good, and it was 7-0 Concord. Exeter would take the ball back for a couple of possessions, but then Concord would take over an Exeter fumble on the Exeter 42-yard line, and would stymie the Blue Hawks and march down the field in just 4 plays, 42 yards, a 1-yard touchdown plunge by Andy Milliken, and a point after touchdown, 14-0, and that's where we stood at halftime. Now, a very interesting situation right after the first half developed, and as the second half began, where Concord took the ball on their own 37-yard line. They marched 63 yards in 10 plays, but the ball, the drive stalled right there on the 9-yard line. And they had a first and goal at the 9, and then they wanted and goal at the 9.5. It's actually a yard on that. And it was a Garrett Stum field goal attempt of 27 yards. It was good, and it was 17-0 Concord on top. Very next possession, Exeter takes over at their own 39-yard line. They march 61 yards in 11 plays, and it was a Brendan Levesque 27-yard field goal. Back-to-back possessions, both 27-yard field goals, and Concord, Exeter rather, on the scoreboard with a 17-3 count in favor of the Concord High School Crimson Tide. Total of 11 first downs in the ball game for Exeter, 8 of those on the ground, 3 of them via the passing route, and Levesque went 4 for 8 for 48 yards and 1 interception through the air tonight for Exeter. Concord High, a total of 12 first downs, 11 of those coming on the ground, the long grinded out drives that the Crimson Tide are so famous for. 1 passing first down, and Ryan McGonigal went 1 for 2 for 12 yards and 1 interception for the Crimson Tide. So a pretty even ball game, except on the scoreboard, where it was 17-3 with the Crimson Tide on top. Harvey?
All right, we are going to come back and talk to a couple of happy Crimson Tide kids tonight who had a whale of a ball game. Tim Thompson, 6-foot senior, defensively doing a super job. Andy Milligan, who had a nice two-way performance, and Gary Gott. We're going to talk to all the kids right after this final timeout. So stay with us for our player interviews. We'll be right back.
Bobby Young and the staff of Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street in Concord would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone associated with High and Bishop Brady football teams the very best of luck during their respective 1991 football seasons. You know, high school sports play a very important role in any successful community. And through the dedicated hard work put in by the staff and members, the Crimson Tide and Green Giant players learned to work together as a team, each member completing their assignment in order to accomplish a common team goal. Now, the teamwork learned by this year's group of young men on the rosters of Bishop Brady and Concord High will become a lifelong lesson on how to accomplish a common goal through athletics, knowing that how you play the game will become examples of how you go through life long after one has covered the 100 yards on the football field. This message from your florist in Concord, Young East Florist at 30 Manchester Street. And again, good luck to both Concord High and Bishop Brady.
All right, we are back here at Memorial Field, and our post game, we have the players lined up, a couple of happy kids after last week's not so awesome show in Pinkerton. They're back on the winning track tonight, and I think that they would like another date with the Astros. Gary Gott, 6-foot senior end, with us here, and Gary, nice game out there. You know the scheme of things on the Coach Gaddy, the ends are blocked more than they are to receive passes, and you did a nice job tonight. Tell us about life in the trenches.
It's really tough getting the inside release because the end crash downs a lot, so you really have to work the inside release to make the block on the linebacker so you can split the play open.
Honest to God, Gary, I don't think I completed my story this morning when I talked to you at Concord High, but I really thought you were going to catch a touchdown pass tonight. I had a vision, I had a dream this week that Gary Gott was catching one, and lo and behold, you had one near the goal line. I thought tonight you had a shot at catching one down there.
I believe that was Rob.
Oh, yeah, it was Rob. It was Rob Sawyer down there, and he in and out of his hands, and you got to feel badly for him because I thought he hit his first.
Yeah, I thought he had too. You know, he's been catching really good lately, and you know, it's just tough.
You know, when you catch yours, you know what my line's going to be.
What?
Look at the pass, got caught. I want to use that, and you got one pretty soon down there. Tell me about the mood of the players this week, Gary. Haven't lost to Pinkerton. How did practices go this week?
Practice went really well. You know, we wanted to keep our attitude really up high so we could come in with a good attitude and stick it to Exeter. And you know, we had to keep everything up running hard and hit really hard during practice.
Well, you guys did a nice job hitting, and the blocking was back on that offside. So listen, headsets over there to Andy, and you guys get ready for Portsmouth because you know it's going to be tough. Thanks, Gary.
All right, thanks a lot.
Nice game. Tim Thompson, who had a terrific game on defense tonight, he probably has 15 or so unassisted tackles now after tonight's performance down there. He's been real tough. He's caused more fumbles than anyone else. He's blocked points after touchdowns. You were all over the field tonight, Tim, and you made some really nice sticks. I mean, you looked like you were on top of everything. You feel good physically?
Yeah.
After the first quarter or so, I was starting to read their blockers a little bit easier, and I was starting to read little things that when the guard would pull, I'd see a little thing, he'd change his stance a little bit, and it gave me a little bit of an edge going in.
The kid Levesque, the quarterback, he surprised you a little bit. We knew they lost a good quarterback. He surprised you with his athletic prowess out there?
Not really, because when we watched the film on Thursday night when he was playing split end, we could tell he was a good athlete. He ran really well, and we were expecting a little bit more out of him. We were looking for maybe some quarterback keeps, and we were prepared for it. And
tell us about your role out there. You lead the team in causing fumbles. Is it just you tackle hard, or are you looking to punch that ball out of ball carriers' arms?
Well, it's not something I practice at all. My main responsibility is to keep the inside of the line, to beat the guard, and if I do have a chance to make a tackle, it's a bonus. My job is people so the linebackers can make the tackles. And when I do make a tackle, I try to get my hands in on the ball. It's just something I've tried ever since I was playing JVs.
Well, you did a nice job of it tonight. You and Andy Funk, the down lineman interiorly on that defense, and you're two of the linemen that come out when the ball turns over. Do you miss playing offense, or are you glad for the rest? Because I'll tell you one thing, you do have your legs all the way on defense. I mean, you still have a lot of energy, and you're very active out there. Would you like to play a little offense?
I think the way we have it right now, where we have our defensive linemen only going one way, I think it's better in the long run because we will have our legs in the fourth quarter. If John Forrestal goes down at center or one of the tackles go down, I can go both ways, but right now I'm satisfied with only going one way.
Speaking of Forrestal, I saw him assisted over to the bench tonight with an ankle injury. How's he doing?
He's doing all right. He went back into the locker room, and he was just twisted when he was in there. Came back in the locker room, stretched out a little bit, and he was all set.
Okay, commend you, seniors, and you particularly for your senior leadership this week. It could have been a down week after losing 38-0, but it really wasn't a 38-0 game, was it?
No, it wasn't. Our front eight, the defensive line and linebackers, I thought played a pretty good ball game against Pinkerton. We had a few breakdowns in the secondary and a couple stunts that went the wrong way, and they broke some big ones. I think that was our downfall against Pinkerton.
All right, final question to you, Tim. You were one of the revered linemen around the high school. Og Young and Andy Funk had a major article in the Monitor tonight with their off-field activities, with their academics and musical prowess. How about yourself? Here's some equal time now here. What are you into off the football field?
Well, I can say that I'm in Andy Funk's AP Calculus class. Other than that, basically I'm trying to get myself prepped up. I want to go to college and major in architecture or architectural engineering.
That's terrific. Well, listen, good luck to you, and I'm sure we're going to be talking down the line. Let's go get ready for the Clippers.
All right, thanks.
And Andy Milligan, a nice two-way performance here tonight. 2 touchdowns for Andy, both coming inside the 5, one a 4-yard little plunge and one a 1-yard plunge. And Andy, it had to be so good. I know you represent the whole team when you carry that football. It had to be so good for the offense to get across that goal line again.
Yeah, it was great. After last week, we really needed it. And working hard and getting from the 5, it's good for us.
And there were opportunities for more. A couple of inopportune penalties brought you out of touchdown range, but I think overall you had to be pleased with the offense tonight.
Yeah, we were. It's back on track a bit, but we know we can be even better than we were tonight, and we're going to do it.
17 points on the scoreboard. I think maybe you would have liked to have had more, but you guys were telling me off the air that Exeter put up a will.
The town, you go and play them, they're ready to play. They might not have the best talent, but they'll give you a good ball game every time.
The coming down the stretch, McGonigal put a pass right in between number 44, and tell us about it. I know it's a painful memory for you, but it was there for you.
Yeah, I was having trouble getting through the line, and it just didn't work out. It hit my hands and my helmet, and it went up in the air, and that was about it.
Well, I'll tell you, you've had 2 pass receptions for big yardage, 28 yards, 38 yards on the season. You upped your touchdown count to 4 tonight, and I'm sure that you're up around 300 yards or better rushing now, so you have to feel good about the way you're carrying the football.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good on the season as a whole, but like I said, the offense is going to get better every week, and I think by playoff time we're going to be doing
You're one of the guys that carries the football quite a bit, and then you go out there and to play defense. He tried moving you over in the end tonight. How did that work?
It's good. He moved Blake back to linebacker, moved me over to end, and it seems to be working out well. I was a little nervous in there, but I'm getting used to it.
Well, it's kind of nice halfway through the year to pick up a new position, and it gets you kind of excited for defense. Do you mind playing both ways?
No, not a bit. I like it. Keeps you in the game.
It does.
It does a lot, yeah.
Are you pretty weary by the 4th period?
No, I feel pretty good. We conditioned hard, and we're weightlifting hard, and I feel all right by the 4th period.
You know what else Coach Gaddy seems to be doing this year more than ever? He's always had a back to come in and spell you guys, but he's working in Shane Stafford and Don Ross almost on an equal basis, along with you and Mike Mayo and Ekstrom, and you're all getting an equal number of carries, so that has to keep you guys fairly fresh.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's great to come out for a couple plays on offense, and just that little bit of time, it's good. And it's good because Donnie runs hard and Shane Stafford runs hard, and everybody's an asset to the offense.
Well, quite a leader, Andy. I'll tell you, you kids are to be commended because you could have packed it in after last week's, but you didn't. You stayed up all week. You worked hard at practice. You look good on the football field here tonight. It's 3-1, and I know you guys have playoff aspirations, and you'd like to finish in that top 4, so let's go get ready for Portsmouth.
Thanks.
All right, Andy Milligan of the Crimson Tide, and 2 touchdowns for Andy here tonight to up his count to 4 in the year. Concord wins it 17-3, and again, Bruce, as we talk to these kids week after week, they're pretty intelligent, thoughtful kids, aren't they?
I'll tell you, that is one thing that impresses me about everybody that we've had up here to talk to, either in the booth or looking in the front windows at us, is their expertise, and they're young men who really know which direction they are headed, and a lot of that goes back to the head man, Jack Gaddy, and his staff, because without the guidance, we've seen kids and heard of kids that have gone wrong, and these kids have not gone wrong. They're going in the right direction with the support behind them, too. And speaking of support, another tremendous crowd here tonight, and the city has really gotten behind this team, and they're going places.
I think the community of Concord's to be commended also.
Oh, absolutely.
The band put on a great show, but to see the number of adults that turn out to support the high school youngsters,
sure.
A large student body gathering here tonight, but an even larger adult sector from the capital city area, and I'll tell you, it's really heartwarming to see them, and I'm sure they have a good time because the kids on the field do a nice job, but the band and the cheerleaders are every bit as good. I mean, it's just a first-class show.
it really is a lot of fun to come to these games. One of these weeks coming up before too much longer, we're going to talk to Bill Matavia, the Concord High School band director, too, because they have an interesting story to tell, too, about being able to get to road games because of the support that the band receives from the community as well.
Well, you being a former band member, you get him on any time. I think it'd be an interesting interview. We'd like to give the complete story of high school sports here, and that includes the band and the cheerleaders and the student body.
Total
Final
package.
score tonight, 17 to tied, two Andy Milligan touchdowns and a Garrett Stum 27-yard field goal to go along with his 2-point-after touchdowns. It's Brady and Monadnock tomorrow here at Memorial Field. 1:10 airtime for our coaching interviews. We'll kick it off at 1:30. And it's supposed to be nice here, the weather in the capital city tomorrow, so come on back, everybody, and let's support the Green Giants and see if we can get a couple wins and get them into the Class M&S. Coach Ryan Roby's kids are well-drilled, and they put on a good show also. It's good football on M&S, so come on up and enjoy the sunshine and enjoy the Brady and Monadnock game tomorrow. If not, tune us in on the radio. Next week, we'll follow Concord High as they head down to the seacoast to take on Tom Dobney's always tough Portsmouth Clippers, the one thorn in Jack Addy's side through his nice career at Trinity and here at Concord High has been Tom Dobney and the Portsmouth Clippers. I'll tell you, Jack has head-to-head. He hasn't fared better against Mr. Dobney as well as Jack has done, so it's going to be a tough game. Plan to be with us next Friday night at around 7:10 for our coaching interviews. That's going to do it here from Memorial Field. Our thanks to the Allied Insurance Agency at 500 South Street on the Bowtown line. At the Allied Insurance Agency, your protection is their profession. We thank S&W 38 South Main Street in Concord. When it comes to bikes, cross-country, and alpine skiing, bring the entire family to the leader, S&W Sports Shop. Our thanks to the Horizon Bank at 197 Loudon Road in Concord, your locally owned and managed community bank, and a member FDIC. Thank you to Denroy Shoes at 76 North Main Street in Concord, featuring athletic footwear for the entire family. Thank you to Jim Burney of Burney Sports in Concord. If you're outfitting a team for the fall or winters, give one of the nice guys around the city, Jim Burney, a call at 224-2131. He'll come to your home or your office. And the Capital City Law Firm, our thanks go out to Rath, Young, Pignatelli, and Hoyer. On behalf of their clients and the community, they are proud sponsors for high school sports. Final score for Memorial Field, the Crimson Tide 17, Exeter 3. Concord now 3-1 will be in Portsmouth. Come back video for Brady Monadnock at 1:10 tomorrow afternoon. For Bruce Lavoie, this is Harvey Smith saying so long from Memorial Field and back to Gardner Hill.
All right, thank you very much, Harvey. And late in the fourth quarter of play at Gill Stadium in Manchester, Manchester Memorial leads Manchester Central 35-7. And the last report we had, they were in the fourth inning out at County Stadium in Milwaukee, with the Red Sox leading the Brewers by a score of 2-1. At 20 minutes past, make that 20 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock, let us now join WKXL-FM for coverage of the Red Sox Brewers with Bob Starr and Joe Castiglione.
Inside and low, 1-1.